What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. My name is Knackers, and today is Sunday, August 9th, 2020, and this is episode number 125. Today on the episode, we have the beautiful, the mustached, MiddleAgedStream, who I will now unmute. What up, MiddleAged? I'm so fucked up.
Dude. There he is. How's it going? Welcome to the podcast.
Hey,
guys,
hello.
He may have hit his head. Knackers is recovering from a massive injury that he took today. We need to get him one of those buttons. When he falls, he can push it, and paramedics show up. It's what was that?
Life alert.
Life alert.
Life alert.
Yeah.
Yo,
Life
and
alert.
if you ever have a house with stairs, we can get you one of those cool things you sit in, and it'll take you up the stairs, man. That way you don't break a hip.
Hover around. By the way, Bishop, your mic could probably go up a little bit. You're a little low. I got you at about 120 at the moment.
Okay, testing. Oh wait, no, that was the right one. Testing. Tell me when.
Good.
What were you doing in the
That's
pre-show,
good.
you big
Okay.
idiot?
Me? I was just messing everything up, dude.
Listen.
I don't have the DBX though. Casey has it. Is it?
I'm
is it PC right now?
traumatized, okay? I'm not on my A game. You have to be nice to me for at least one episode, all right? I didn't think so. All right. Well,
No.
Jimmy, how you doing tonight, sir?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm bruised. Bishop,
Oh, God.
Bishop, how you doing today?
I'm sorry. One more thing.
Yeah.
I have replayed that video at least 20 times. Just the first part where you bounce, like you literally bounce off the side. I'm like, oh!
Yeah. The initial impact is fucking funny because you can see where I hit and then spring off of it. Yeah, but again, fun, not fun. But
yeah, man. Yeah, that was you know what is really surprising is that you're like a Ford. You're built tough. You know, you took that big spill and you're still here to stream. You didn't have to go to the hospital. I think if that was me, I would have broken like 3 ribs.
You know, built Ford tough now, found on road dead later.
Yeah, true.
I think
Yeah.
I think the pain from it would have just knocked you right out, Bish. You would have just been laying in a heap
Yeah.
on the floor.
I would have been like, call my mother.
Mom! Ow. No yelling.
man.
No yelling allowed.
No.
No laughing allowed. Jesus Christ. Bishop, what's up with you today? How are you?
I'm doing good. Just got all my stuff set up, so I'm good to go. I'm happy to be here with Jimmy, the beautiful son of a gun. I don't have any lychee, but I know I can hear Casey right now making something in the kitchen. She's stirring something, so we might actually have something amazing. She was really excited this morning to go out and like go to specialty grocery shopping just to make a drink for this podcast. So that's
my
something.
God.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
Can you just... Oh, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to put any pressure on you.
If you like it, then you put it on it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to put any pressure on you. But good luck finding that anywhere else, all right?
True.
Okay.
True.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you feeling, Knackers? Do you want to give us like a health update? How's everything operating? Everything still good?
I'm slow. Laughing, just reaching with my right arm is fucking painful. I already put down a beer
Man.
before you guys even got on the call. You know, confidence is at an all-time high. You know, surprisingly not embarrassed at all, even though I shouldn't have been standing on a bucket. Like that is But here's the thing. I have used 5-gallon buckets as step ladders for years, and I've used that same bucket over and over and over and over again. But what I realized is when I was trying to secure the sticky to the ceiling, I was pushing. So when you're at the beginning of that video, right before I fall, you hear me go, "Ugh," and that's me pushing the 3M sticky onto the ceiling. So I think the additional force just shoved me in. And there was cat, because that bucket is for cat food, and I had cat food like stuck in between my toes. It's not a fun experience at all.
So it was like falling from the height, hitting your ribs, and then landing on what could only be compared to a bunch of Legos on the ground with the cat food.
Yes, and I don't know if anybody caught this, but as I'm falling, you can see. So not only did I knock over my bowl of radishes, the entire knife block that had like 4 or 5 big ass knives in it.
Holy shit.
You can also see a vitamin container slingshot past me because as I'm falling, I smack it off a shelf and it just shoots in the opposite direction. And Jess is like, how the fuck did the vitamin container get all the way over here? There's a lot had happened. But if I may say, I think that specific event was what gave me the courage to make the best chicken fried steak that I've ever the best gravy that I have ever had in my fucking life. So big pogs, dude. Big creamy pogs. Nice. So yeah, I'm okay. It's gonna, Jesus fucking Christ. Is that in a mason jar?
This is what we would call a Singapore sling in a mason jar with a cherry on top.
And is that a metal straw, you environmentalist?
It is. But you know what I hate about metal straws is every time I go to drink when I'm not looking, I like chip my teeth almost every single time. I hate that. It's okay. I'll
save a plant, kill a tooth.
Write a negative review. First one.
Of metal straws?
No, of the service here. It's just terrible.
Fucking Casey.
They're giving me tooth chipping fucking straps.
Well, it's been 2 weeks since I've seen you guys, and my normal reaction to having a podcast is there's so much that has happened in these past 2 weeks. I don't know if it's just because I have not been paying attention, or if there just hasn't a lot going on. So I'm just letting the chat know that I'm relying on both of you to carry me through this podcast with topics, because I have one topic that I put. It's a single word, and I don't know how much we'll actually get into it. Boobies. But we have some other things we want to talk about too. But first of all, how are both of you? You know, what do you got drinking? What do you got in your glass tonight? Anything that's fun or traumatizing that's happened to you? Please, God, tell me a story that can help balance out this embarrassment of mine.
Jimmy, you can start with the embarrassing stories. I think you're the champion of that. I have none myself, sadly, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so tonight I've got some Bullet rye bourbon whiskey I'm drinking. On the rocks, I've also got a 512 pecan porter, which is really, really good. It's from 512 Brewing out of Austin, Texas.
Okay.
So I got a little something bitter, a little something kind of sweet. You know what I mean? A little something bitter, something kind of sweet. Also, I did want to share one thing with you guys. Now, you sent me something a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, it showed up the day after the last podcast, so could not reveal it then. Okay. But I got a package in the mail that was from you guys, and I was supposed to open it up on stream. Unfortunately, the package has already been opened. So I can't open it live for you. And I'm going to go ahead and blame my wife, because she wasn't really paying attention and just saw like a stack of packages and just started tearing through stuff by the door. And then by that point, it was too late. So with that being said,
before you pull it, open a notepad. You're very, very dark. I can barely see your tan face.
Really?
Yeah, open up a big notepad on that giant 4K screen of yours.
Yeah, just open up one of those screens there, bud.
You got it, pal.
So wait, do you know what it is already then?
I do.
God. Wait, why wouldn't you just say that you didn't know what it was? Just for the
I mean, I don't.
Appeal? Oh,
well, you're going to see it's not freaking wrapped. Or is that better? That light?
That's better.
You know what? I think we could just go ahead and blame Noble for not wrapping it inside of the wrapped. I'm good with that.
Now that's where I was about to go. I think that it is Noble's fault.
It had a wrapping around it. There was some but I removed that.
Yeah, so it's his fault. He should have surrounded it in tape that said, "Don't fuck with this," and he didn't. So it's Noble's fault.
Definitely Jimmy's fault.
In fact, that video I sent you last week, in the news story, if you look carefully in the background, you can see it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
Oh my God. All right, well, fucking pull it out. Drum roll, please.
Drum roll. And what we have here, I'm going to go ahead and show this to everyone in chat. This is not just the 2020, okay? But the 2020s, i.e. the decade. Okay?
Wow.
The stash decade of the year belonging to MiddleAgedStream with a cool, put my logo in there, which is awesome.
Yep.
And as you can see, it says verified by Knackers and Bishop.
Wow.
And that's it's a really prestigious award.
What does it? What does it say in the bottom right hand corner?
It does. There's nothing on the bottom right hand corner.
Sure,
Cool. It's a very prestigious award.
Wow.
And I'm very. Thank you. Do you want to clap?
Yeah, it was a little early, I think, in the 20s to issue that sort of award. But I think you're well deserving of it, and I think I'm happy to have my name stamped on it. What does it say?
Because he's using a Razer camera and it can't focus, it says not an actual award with quotation marks around.
Damn it, Razer.
Ooh. Yikes. So that's unofficial. So it's unofficial.
It is. It is an unofficial award.
We're going to call it unofficially official.
You could buff that out. You could get rid of that.
I'm considering just hacking it off. But as you can see, where my hand is right here, this is it has a position of honor on the wall right there, elevated so everyone can see it.
Yep.
So yes.
Go put it up there. I want to see it up there right now. Okay. Yeah.
Just
start fucking open up packages before they. God fucking damn it, Jimmy. Christ.
When he takes his mustache off, he could use it actually as a mount to keep his mustache intact. Like after the stream's over, he could pull it off. You're all on there, and it's ready to go.
God damn it! You were all foiled, chat. His mustache isn't even real. It's a dollar store. He went to the dollar store. One. He had 2 quarters. He got a fucking sticky hand and a fucking mustache.
I had to buff it out a little bit.
That's fine. That's fine. Well, shout out to Noble Pastime for not only orchestrating it. It was his idea, but also bringing that into existence and taking the time and the money to do that. So fucking bravo, Noble. Thank you, Jimmy. Congratulations.
I am humble. I'm very humbled by this prestigious, not an award, and thank you all for being a part of it.
This is almost turning into the Oscars. All the people that are receiving awards know that they're getting them ahead of time. This is
And you know what? I would say good luck next year, but we have a decade before we're allowed to have this competition again. You have all of 2020s.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, I feel like it was a little early to dish out the 2020 award for the whole decade, but yeah, it's just like I said, you deserve it, Jimmy. The mustache, a lot of dedication and a lot of effort have gone in this year to award you that for the entire.
No, it's true.
I'm surprised it's not a century award, to be honest, but yeah,
you know what?
Was it an old man joke?
I'll take a decade at a time, man. I'll take a decade at a time.
True.
All right,
Bishy, you actually had quite a dope mustache a couple days ago, and you have since shaved it off.
Yeah, I got rid of it. I made a mistake. Honestly, I had a mustache guard on my trimmer, and I was going like this to try to get it off my lip. You know how sometimes it starts curling in? I either use scissors and kind of go in line to prevent myself from eating my mustache.
Yeah.
So I tried this other move where I'm basically like going up against the grain of the mustache, and I really just trimmed it super short right here. And I was like, it was like the reverse of a Hitler mustache, and then the rest was bushy. So I was like, okay, I have to get rid of it. Also, I wouldn't want Jimmy to have to ship me that beautiful piece of metal he just received. So I think it's only fair to level the playing field
I wouldn't anyway.
Gotcha. Okay.
Besides
digital one. Fuck it. I'm just going to fucking get a projector and put it on the back.
Fuck it. Yeah. So you, Bishop, you already said what you were drinking, right? Jimmy, you already said what you were going off of.
Yeah. It's a Singapore Sling, Townshend's gin, cognac, muddled cherries, and then on the bottom it says, and if I can focus this properly, it says Jimmy is a cutie pie. And there's no mention of anything about knackers.
Yeah, what
there's
the
not
fuck?
a single mention.
I mean, let's just be real here.
True.
You know what? It's fine. I will just take that as Casey's admit of defeat that her scallions are inferior to my scallions. That's fine. That's fine. I'll just take that as a subconscious accepting of defeat. That's all right. That's all
hateful.
good.
Yeah. There was no.
So every time that I've gone to the liquor store and looked at the sour beers, Jimmy, as you know, there's that little fridge off to the left that has only sours. And there's 2 different types of the green wild sour. This one is the syncopathic, and then the other one, I can't remember what the name is. And I've always been turned off because this is a dark green, and the other one is a bright, green. Luscious green. And I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm going to go outside my comfort zone, and I'm going to give this lovely beer a try. And this one is almost as much bitter as it is sour, but I actually really enjoy it.
It's a very dry. That one's a very dry sour, but it is good. It's refreshing.
I do like it very much. So far, I've only been drinking. Oh fuck! I've only been drinking piss. So I'm currently on my second Pabst Blue Ribbon. I don't care what anybody says, man. I absolutely love this beer.
It's a classic.
It's
they're
a wonderful.
If they have to be cold,
Right? Correct.
As long as they're super cold, I can drink a PBR, no problem.
This is an
What's
awesome
the best shitty beer? What's the best beer that people consider to be shitty, but it is actually okay? Like PBR, people would be like, okay, that's a dog shit
Natural
beer.
Light. Natural Light's a shitty beer that if it's cold, it tastes just like a Bud Light.
Okay.
I think straight up Budweiser is a decent beer. It's a decent Pilsner. Yeah, it's nothing amazing.
Where would you put Dos Equis? Because I love Dos Equis. It's like
Dos Equis I'd put above any
definitely.
of those.
Yeah. So it's not a shitty, because I know that there's people that have opinions, right? Imagine having one of those. And they typically say that if they're not Dos Equis fans, they usually say that it's a shitty beer. And I'm just like, dude, this shit's like fucking Sprite rap. I got a lime in the top. But this is spicy,
people who
dude.
say that Dos Equis is shitty beer are just elitist, and you need to drop them from your MySpace top 8 immediately. I would say Rolling Rock is also a top contender. As far I wouldn't call Rolling Rock a shitty beer, but when it like on the scale of beers, toxicity, ABV,
it's a beer you drink when you're on the grill, or it's a beer you drink when you're doing like some chore or something around the house. Like, it's like you know what I mean? It's like you're doing yard work or something. You got a cold beer in the yard after you're done, and you drink like that. It's perfect. It's that type of beer.
Maybe pre-gaming the next podcast, we'll make a tier list. Those S list, S tier lists. We'll pull in all the beers, and then you guys rate them, and I'll do the handiwork of dragging and dropping. And of course, Dos Equis, I'll have a say in there. But
we would have to just use like the common domestics and imports, though, because
they have to be like. Yeah, I mean, I could go take a picture of a shelf in Portland, and no one would know what half those beers are, right? So they have to be like at least circulated in. They have to be somewhat known by chat.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
obtainable. They have to be.
There's
attainable.
A lot of beers out there, man. There's a lot of beers.
Yeah. That'd be a good little piece of content there. That'd be nice.
Content?
Content? Oh.
I feel like the fucking seagulls from Finding Nemo. Content? Content?
Oh, speaking of content, here's a story. I put this in as my thing. So I'm not going to say the name, but this was probably one of the most embarrassing moments I've ever had on stream. Happened last night.
Really?
Like, wow. I did something that I was very embarrassed over, and it happened last night. And fortunately, the person involved was super cool about it and shrugged it off or whatever. But I felt really bad. You want to know what happened?
Nah. No, let's just skip it.
We'll talk about it. All
right. Of course, we want to know.
So last night, I had to take a break. I've been playing Battletoads like pretty much since the last podcast, nonstop. I'm almost to the end of that game. I'm like 11 or 12, but I've been playing that game so much, and it requires so much focus and concentration that I am exhausted after those Battletoads streams. Like, I am physically tired because it requires that much attention, right? And then, of course, there's Twitch chat. So last night, I wanted to try something different. I'd never done that, I used to always call it the basic bitch streamer, the marbles on stream. You know what I mean? That a lot of people like to play. But I'd been in some and hadn't played it. It's actually a whole lot of fun, especially if you do it right.
Oh, yeah.
I was joking because I was like, man, I need to watch Elliot do his shoutcasting so I can know how to actually, kind of talk like a real race. Anyway, so we're doing that, and you know how it goes. But it was crazy. Like, I got a huge raid early, and then all these raids coming in, and it was like just this crazy stream last night. And a friend of mine who's a very popular streamer, a partnered streamer, came in, and she was talking and engaging, and I was just doing my usual thing where I talk about the other person, and I'll say, hey, this is a great reason why you should follow the streamer, yada yada yada. Except with her, I said, yeah, and she plays a lot of Darkest Dungeon, and you should follow her for some Darkest Dungeon hot tips. Except tips didn't come out of my mouth.
Oh no. Oh no!
It was one of those.
It was one of those
Freudian
moments, yeah.
slips or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I ended up. And it was hot tits instead. I'm like, wait, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. And it was fine. You know, chat obviously wouldn't let me hear the end of it for about 5 minutes, but I sent her a DM after and cleared the air. She was super cool about it, which I felt fortunate, but I felt so like, yeah, just embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like it was just one of those things you don't intend to say.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was glad that I didn't have a webcam on because I would have probably just been like
red,
like beet red, like a freaking tomato, man.
It's honestly crazy. You know, I always, whenever you hear somebody slip up and say something stupid on stream, you always say to yourself, how could you accidentally say that? That doesn't, it's not possible. And then it happens to you and you say, I blacked out for 5 seconds and somebody took over my brain and my mouth. How did that come out of my mouth? And I would assume that a lot of streamers probably have had that happen. I have a story. Some people probably know of this. If anybody was watching some of my Rocket League streams back in the day. So I was playing, I think I was doing 2v2s, and I had went to go make a shot, or I had an awesome goal, and one of my teammates fucked me up. And I tried to say, are you kidding me, homie? Or are you kidding me, bro? And I ended up saying, are you kidding me, homo? And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I went, oh my God, I meant to say homie. I tried to say bro. I'm so fucking sorry. And that was just one of those moments where I was thinking of what I wanted to say, and then it came out of my mouth, and it wasn't what I planned. And that is the only time in my 7 years that I have accidentally said something like that. And again, you feel terrible because the first thing that you think is, my community obviously thinks that I say this all the time, or this is how I normally talk. And you're like, well, fuck. Well, now I need to like be on my A game for the next 10 years just to prove I'm not this person. And that was when I had hair. So probably well over 2 or 3 years ago. I still think about that all the time. Like, it still kind of like irks me that accidentally came out of my mouth. But when you are live streaming, you're like, chat, I know a lot of you understand. I know you understand how this goes. But if you were to, I just hit 2,000 hours streamed on Twitch. I just got that achievement. If you had a camera rolling for 2,000 hours of your life, do you think you would have slipped up, said something you shouldn't have one time?
It happens to freaking news anchors all the time, and that's what they do for a living, you know, presenting to the public. And you see all these outtakes or stuff that happened live of some type of slip up, and they're trained professionals. You know, obviously the joke of that being the old Ron Burgundy. Fuck you, San Diego.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
there's been shit like that's happened on the news, man.
News blooper compilations on YouTube are hilarious. Gold.
Yes.
What do you think it is about being live and in front of an audience that as soon as you make a mistake, you then like internalize it and think to yourself like what other people are thinking when you said that, and then you're trying to verbally also fix what you just said. And sometimes like with certain news anchors, you'll hear them mess the word up and then try to alter the word and fix it, and then they actually go and say something way worse than they could have ever said previously. And I like, what do you think it is about streaming that like your brain cells literally go on vacation? Like they just completely leave your skull and you're just left with like the shell of a person that is just like React Andy and just blurting out whatever sounds first come to the brain.
That's a good question. You know? That's a good question.
I'll give you my anecdotal answer real quick because my answer is short. I think there's something that anytime you're dealing with a live audience, you're going to build up some type of anxiety. And I almost did the all. Again. I find it similar to when I'm teaching. When I teach students, high school students, I've been doing this job for 10 years. I still get a little nervous before sometimes doing lessons. It has nothing. I mean, I know the content backward and forward in my brain. I already have thought out questions to ask. I'm already anticipating questions students will ask as a way to facilitate conversation. Even when I do all those things, sometimes something unexpected happens and you have to think on the fly, and then sometimes if you don't do something the way you had hoped, it could just
spiral out of control.
And I think it's similar in that respect to streaming, because you have an audience, they're captive, and if you make a mistake, more than likely someone's going to notice it and they're going to point it out. So I think that's part of it, honestly. So
it's definitely an underlying fear as well, right? Like, even if you're like not a piece of shit in real life, as a human being, somebody who is live streaming on a platform and is broadcasting themselves, you don't want to be somebody that says something that offends somebody, right? Like, I don't like, maybe this is because we just have a great group of people in all of our communities, but I don't know of people that actively go out of their way to say mean shit to offend people on purpose. Like, a lot of the streamers that we know, they're just trying to have a good time and to bring value and smiles and laughter into the world. And so even if you're not actively trying to do that, there is always an underlying fear of like, what if I say something that actually hurts somebody and it's not even intentional? So I think once you have that moment, especially when you're live, you try so fucking hard just to like reel it back in and clear the air right then and there. I think another big part of it is Twitch clips. You've got 15 seconds to deploy context before you are fucking voted off the island immediately. That's another thing that I think about as well. Like, when I fuck up, I'm like, oh no, I gotta fix this right now, because whoever's gonna clip this and put it on Twitter, I gotta make sure I get my explanation in.
Well, and I have had someone in my own community clip something out of context that I saw after the stream, you know, because you can see who created what clips. Yep. I don't know why people don't realize that. When I saw who it was and what the clip was, I was like, this motherfucker trying to make me look bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a very short clip. It was like a 5-second clip, but it's totally taken out of context of, you know, but people do that sort of stuff. So it's just something you got to for sure be aware of as a streamer, that, you know, obviously that the internet is forever. So just really, you know, you got to be careful. And I think if you're cognizant of that and knowing that eventually you will make a mistake and you acknowledge it and you move on, I think in most cases, 99% of the time, it's going to be fine. You know?
Yeah.
I think in my particular story that I just told, I think people who watch me regularly realize that that's not generally something that I would ever say to someone or even do, you know, it's not who I am. So
you're gonna have a couple goofs and a couple gaffes, you know. You're just, it's funny because like as you're streaming as well, and even me speaking right now, typically I would just sit here and just like consume and like think to myself and formulate an idea. But when you're streaming or when you're live, you constantly have to be communicating, or you're just gonna have dead space. Like, imagine if we were just sitting here going, oh, okay. Yeah, okay, the chat is
really?
Satan's PR girl just said, was it me? Wow, okay. Like, if we were just
oh my God,
reacting to it, it would be so much easier than like filling the void with noise and just constantly talking, right? Yeah. And I find myself, I have the issue often, and I'm like caught onto it recently, where I'll start talking about something and not know what the end point is, but then just kind of go in these loops over and over and over again. And then I finally grab onto like an end point, and I'm like, okay, thank God I have a fucking injection.
Oh, I've done that. I'm familiar with your speech patterns.
Yeah.
I've done that
it's
too.
Funny because it's like you don't know when it's happening in real time, and it's hard to like pull yourself out of it, or at least for me. So it's interesting that like streaming is that, but it with less brain cells. Like, I can do it in the real world and kind of take a pause and wait and think what I was just saying and then come to a conclusion. But when you're streaming, you're also potentially playing a game at the same time and maybe scanning through chat for something else to read. And you just kind of lose it. Like, you don't have like the capacity to focus on what you're actually saying sometimes.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
Can I do like a super, super quick vent about... I am not...
No, vents,
Next topic.
Dude. Next
topic.
Fortnite's back.
Let's talk about the real Fall Guy. Not the Fall Guys games. We got a real Fall Guy right here, guys.
Yeah, art role.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Check out Mac's Twitter or mine, because I've retweeted it. You guys like Fall Guys the game? It ain't nothing like Fall Guy in real life. Okay,
I feel like it was more
IRL
like getting
Fall
over
Guy
it.
way better.
I got over it really fast. It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, moments like these deserve to be memed. Like, if people didn't meme about it, I would be even more upset.
Vans put you on live stream fails, gonna cash in on that sweet karma, baby.
No,
Hell yeah,
Yeah, get that
Let's
karma,
go,
Vans.
dude. Knackers
Yo,
is a big
suck
time
that
streamer
Reddit
now.
karma up.
God, that fucking cesspool. It's okay though. First of all, a little bit of a wake up call. I opened up an old Crocs and Hot Pockets document. So a lot of the documents that I have in Google Docs are like copy pastes. So when I go in live in Discord, I copy paste a template from Google Docs. I post it in Discord, edit. Well, I went to go do my good old copy paste, and the last guest that I had that was in this document was somebody that was outed for sexual assault and has since disappeared from the fucking podcast. And that podcast episode has also been deleted. So that was fucking weird.
The last guest you had?
No, not the last guest. A guest that I have
Jimmy?
had.
Wait,
No, I was like the guy you had. It was Kick Tripod.
Kick Tripod.
Last week, right?
Correct. No, not the last. The last.
Or the one before, he was maybe the one before that.
The last time I used this template was when that person was a guest.
Oof.
And I was like, oh man. And then I was reminded that I fucking had him on. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's crazy how sometimes you don't fucking know people. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that. So skip forward when you guys were talking about having dead air and looking at chat. When I watch podcasts on Twitch and I see guests constantly looking at chat and reacting to chat, not just like typing to chat, but when the guests are just watching chat and reacting to things that people in chat are saying, triggers the fuck out of me. It's like, dude, are you having a podcast or are you having a just chatting day with the community? And it's not that I don't like streamers that interact with their chat. It's when you have a podcast and you're a host and you invite a guest or guests to be on your show and people are just staring at chat, reacting to things. I've had guests on this podcast where we'll be talking and I'll be talking to them and I'll see them reading chat and smiling and laughing and typing in chat and reacting. Like I'm actively talking to you and I'm seeing you respond to people in chat. And that is like one of the things that absolutely irks me. And it's like, okay, Jimmy, I would have rather you just declined the Jimmy, invite.
You know what I really hate in podcasts? I don't know if you've noticed this, Jimmy, specifically, but when you're watching a podcast and like the guests themselves aren't really like interacting or like the host isn't really asking questions to the guests or anything, but they're reading chat the whole time, literally blows my mind. And then you're sitting there and like, are they listening to what the guy's saying? Or are they reading chat the whole time? Like it just blows my mind. And it's like, you're on a podcast. You're not hosting your own just chatting stream.
I know. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Knackers,
wait a minute.
Pet peeve?
Knackers, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
I think that's the same fucking thing that I just said.
What?
No,
I will not. I will not go through this.
Falling off of a bucket.
Dude,
I will not.
No. This is. Come on.
Yeah, man. This is an original thought. What's your least favorite thing about podcasts? Jimmy.
What's your my least favorite thing? Honestly,
unoriginal guests.
Look, I didn't even look at chat. My first appearance on this podcast was episode 20 fucking something. I don't know which one, but it was 20 something, right? I don't think I ever looked at chat until I'd already been on the show like at least 10 or 15 times. You know why?
You were nervous.
I was nervous.
Yeah.
And now that we've known each other for years. All of us have. We've known each other for years. We've been friends for a long time. And I'll look at chat occasionally here and there and, but whatever. But obviously on the podcast, I think it's important to be, it's the same sort of thing as if you're going up to talk to like a significant other.
Yeah.
And they're like on their phone and you're trying to talk to them and they just don't stop doing whatever they're doing on their phone. I'm like,
oh my God.
Can we talk? My wife, I love my wife. I do. She's amazing. And I do the same thing to her sometimes. I think she's more guilty of it than I am, but I have done it too. But
is that door behind you locked right now? Or are you?
I think.
Are you safe?
I hope it is.
But
that shit. I'm like, can you just stop for like 5 seconds because I'm asking her something and I can tell she's not really listening. You know. Yep. So I think it applies in other ares.
But here's one of those. Go ahead. I
was just gonna say,
Jimmy. I wanted to hear what you had to say.
All right, go ahead, Elliot.
Okay. Before I say what I'm gonna say, because it's just a little story, Knackers, I'd really love for you to take it from here.
Fair enough.
Cool. But Jimmy, you interrupted Bishop, so I do. It's okay if you go first.
The door's locked.
Cool.
Door's locked. Okay, good.
Jimmy, and that wasn't like a subconscious dig at you by any means.
I know.
Okay. Because even though you respond to
Fuck
chat,
you, Jimmy. Okay,
you
fuck
never
you and your mustache.
never respond.
I am an award winner. You can see it on my shelf.
Not a real
Where's your
award.
award, bitch?
It is that's fake news, bro.
Uh,
Not the award. Yeah. Whatever.
But you are strategic with it because you don't pay attention when you don't need to pay attention, except for when I'm talking and it's like you just repeat the same thing that I just said right after that. It's only happened a couple times and that's all right. But you can still carry a conversation after the fact. But it's like if it's a 1v1 conversation and we're
totally
talking
different.
to each other, it's like I can tell you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
But I would really love to just throw it right back to Bishop
Yeah.
GP.
No, I have a story. So 10 years ago, 5 years ago now, Humble Day. I'm like, so yeah, maybe
It's a big
Humble
gap.
Day.
10 years ago?
Yeah.
Wait, 5 years ago?
I was in middle
now?
school.
What?
No, wait, I was in college.
Yeah. So a while back, right? Back after I got out of high school, I took this girl that I met at the gym on a date, and I was like super, super nervous. And this kind of plays into the whole thing. But basically what happened is we were driving to go somewhere, and we were talking back and forth, having small talk, and she was talking about her siblings. And then, we talked about a few other things, and then it kind of got quiet in the car, and I was driving. And
Hold on. How were you driving?
I was driving like this, just driving the little car there.
That's exactly.
And
this is exactly how I drive.
Fucking
Whatever
mad
it
This
now.
is how I drive too. I've been doing
Holy
a lot
shit.
of driving. That's what I drive late nights and in the morning. Every
You said
morning.
she? You said she,
If
right?
you were an audio listener for this podcast, you really missed out. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Always missing out.
So it got, like when you go on a date with someone and things get quiet, right? Like you have nothing to talk about, and starts getting awkward, right?
Mhm.
And what happened to me after she was talking about her siblings for maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes. It got quiet. I was sitting driving, and I was like, "So, do you have any siblings?" And I like look over at her, and I literally wasn't listening to anything she was saying the entire time she was talking, and it was probably the most embarrassing moment of my entire life because like I was like, holy fuck, because I knew that she had siblings, but I wanted to like institute some sort of small talk.
Sure.
But it totally
shit.
sounded like I didn't give one fuck about anything
Yeah.
she said for the past 10 minutes. And what was the worst thing is that this was on the way to the date. This wasn't on the way home. So it wasn't like
dude.
there was an ejection that I could have made, like been like, I'll see you later. It was like the rest of the date was ahead of this.
That's where
And
you
it
just gotta pull the old hit the abort button, man. Just like
Right.
abort mission.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drop you back off. Here's $20. Get yourself a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go jerk off and cry in the shower. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
have
cry.
a great rest of your day.
I'm
I
actually-
didn't try to save like nowadays I would have saved it and been like, oh my god, I'm a fucking moron. Like I listened to what you said. I'm just an idiot, and I was trying to make small talk because I was feeling awkward. I'm sorry, but instead I was just like I like jumped to another conversation, and luckily that wasn't something that we had talked about. But I'm sure the whole time, this was the one and only date, I'm sure the whole rest of the date she was sitting there thinking to herself like, this guy is literally not listening to a single fucking thing that I've said at all.
And how many more dates were there after that?
Zero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
If that had happened to me, I would have just totally been like, nah.
Right.
You know what? Let's just turn this car around. Here you go. You know?
Yeah.
It's funny
Yeah.
that you found the need to fill the air because when I'm driving, I sort of kind of just prefer to chill. Like I'm not the
Same,
type
yeah.
of person that will just like drive and talk. Weenie will just look at anything. So squirrel, dog, ice cream, cookies, car. Like she'll just make note of everything that's going on,
Yeah.
especially if they're dogs. And I'm just driving.
It's usually something
yeah.
like this, and I know having ridden the car, like, oh, a puppy!
Mhm. Oh my god!
Like a puppy!
A golden doodle.
We're on the interstate, Winnie.
Love you,
That dog's
baby.
already dead.
Yeah.
That dog's been run over.
That dog has been there for weeks, and you
That doesn't
keep
change that it was
saying
a
it.
golden retriever.
Oh,
Well, sad.
you had to say
Feels
gold,
bad,
didn't
man.
you? Well,
Yeah.
next on the topic list, on the very top of Bishop's list of topics, Jimmy's still a virgin.
This is what scientists don't want you to know. How Jimmy's been able to retain his virginity through marriage and through childbirth.
Incredible.
Through his penis.
Grandparents hate him. With the son and still a virgin. But Bishop, go ahead and throw out one of your topics that you'd like to shit on.
Yeah, this would be a great time to talk about, and this is great for Jimmy. I threw this in here for Jimmy.
Hey, cool.
A little bit. So Crash Bandicoot 4 was announced recently. Looks pretty sweet. I'm pretty excited about some return of some platformers. I haven't played many recently, but also with Battletoads, WoW Classic having happened, Final Fantasy Remake having happened. Has it happened? I think it's happened. Do you guys think that developers are running out of ideas or new ideas for games?
I don't think it's that they're running out of ideas. It's because the people who publish these games don't want to lose money. And so sequels are about as close to you can get as a sure thing in the entertainment industry. You see it in movies. You see all the remakes, right? Sequels to all types of stuff. And it's more of a safe bet. If you have a product that was popular, you take it like Battletoads, for example. They're cashing in on the nostalgia factor of Battletoads. If you watch the trailer for the new Battletoads game, it looks nothing like the original Battletoads. And even the company that developed it, like Rare, that makes Battletoads, is an entirely different company than it was back in 1991. So they're cashing in on nostalgia, and nostalgia is a very strong tool. I use it in my channel. Like my whole freaking channel is based around nostalgia.
Right.
With the Star Wars theme, with the old commercials and stupid shit like that. Like I have an older than average Twitch audience, and I think people get sometimes an emotional connection to the stream just because they'll see something that reminds them of something a long time ago, perhaps. If I'm playing like a retro game, show an old commercial, whatever. So in my opinion, I think it's a safer bet. Not that they're necessarily out of ideas, but it's just, are you going to invest in a brand new intellectual property, or do you want to invest in something that was a bona fide hit years back? And I think for many of those publishers, the choice is simple. No, I'm not saying they don't. Obviously, there's great new IPs all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Like the most recently, like I really want to play that Ghosts of Sashimi or
Tsushima. Yeah.
Sushi
Yeah.
Ghosts of Sushi Mount.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
But yeah, I want to play that soon. But if you look at my own purchasing habits, I would say with AAA titles, I'd be willing to bet at least 50% or like a sequel or a remake of something. Shit. That's the truth. So
you're the guy that they're marketing towards, right there.
I get, well, to some degree, Yeah.
Knackers?
I would say, and I'm hesitant to say this, I think the current target market of gamers are impossible to please. I think that game developers are pushing out game after game after game with different mechanics, different features, different play styles, and none of them are sticking because we are stuck in our ways. Think about games like Day of Infamy, Insurgency, Splitgate. What's another FPS that's come out recently that's been good? Like, but arguably if you compare
like Apex.
Oh, well, Apex is huge just because of the BR. If you compare how games like Day of Infamy, Splitgate, and Insurgency run compared to the first couple months of Battlefield 4, Battlefield 4 was the buggiest, most bullshit mess of almost all of the Battlefield games. And yet, that game triumphed over time just because of its longevity and its replayability. Publishers are pushing out great games like crazy, right? And when it comes to the multiplayer aspect, I don't necessarily think the single player aspect, because there has been so many amazing single player games that have come out over the past couple of years. I'd say let's talk about the last 5 years to a decade, right? The game period in between that time. We have so many amazing games that have come out, but have just died because they haven't fit our narrative. And I don't know if it's because we only enjoy a certain type of thing. I don't know if it's because we're closed-minded, but I think awesome games are coming out, but it's just not what people want. And I don't know if it's because people are looking to streamers and what the streamers are playing and basing the longevity and the popularity of a title off of how much a streamer enjoys it. Because, like, look what happened to Sea of Thieves, right? Who the fuck was playing Sea of Thieves before Summit 1G pioneered that shit? Summit 1G showed the world how much fun that you could have with that game, and then its player base exploded. And unfortunately deceased as well as soon as Summit 1G took a step back. But it just goes to show the influence that these influencers have over the audience and stuff. So I don't think it's that they're running out of ideas. I do play into, my opinion does play into Jimmy's opinion too, where a lot of people are afraid to run the risk. We see this with Hollywood, people that just redo movies. Like, did you really have to make another Zoolander? Did you fucking really have to try all of this time later? Another Ghostbusters,
fucking
another
Anchorman,
fucking Spy Kids 3.
Anchorman sequel was trash.
Really, really bad. So I definitely think it's a little bit of both. And it makes me sad because I think Splitgate was an awesome fucking FPS. As far as like a arena sandbox FPS shooter, was it original with the portals? Not necessarily, but it was a good game. And it was well balanced, and it made me sad that went away. And it makes me sad because I think the developers who were too scared to be creative have left and done other things. I think the people who are willing to put their career on the line to create something that gamers will like, it's starting to dwindle because look at games that are just getting review bombed. Even though they're good fucking games, like the internet is a ruthless fucking place and it can tear you down and it can tear corporations down. Look what happened to No Man's Sky before it made its comeback, So I definitely think there's a little bit of scared of risk there.
Some pussies is what you would basically boil that down to. They're just pussies. Is basically what you're getting at. That was a great speech right there, Knackers. The end bit of that, it was like clip worthy. That was perfect. I'll give you guys my my 2 cents before Knackers thanks me, of course, because that's what he what I'm owed, obviously, for giving him a compliment.
Sure.
But I think that personally, just while you guys were talking, I agree with both of you guys. I think that the age of the kids that grew up playing like games like Age of Empires, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, these kids are of the age now.
You really like Crash Bandicoot.
No, I didn't. I wasn't a PlayStation guy. I never had a PlayStation.
Well, the
but
way
I went
you
over
said Crash Bandicoot 4 announced earlier, and you kind of got a little gleam in your eye, like
was I a little crying?
And then the fact that you brought up Crash Bandicoot again now makes me think that you are actually
a huge fan of Crash Bandicoot.
Not just that, but probably a furry. And I'm gonna text Casey and ask if there's any truth to that.
That makes sense because I've heard that him and Casey's favorite game.
Look at his pop filter, Knackers.
Right.
Look at his fucking pop filter.
You've never heard him slip up?
No, don't hide it. No.
Little
dude's he's a furry. Guy's a furry. He's a closet furry.
There might be some validity to these claims.
And it's okay. It's okay because
we're not judging, dude.
I've heard you slip up. I've heard you say that your favorite game to play with Casey is Crash Bandicoot. So I'm gonna let it slide. It's all good.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of validity to these claims. I definitely believe that Crash Bandicoot is a decent game. I think people like it. But to go back to my official point, again, before Knackers thanks me for giving him a compliment here, we could sideline at any point, Knackers, if you want to interject and thank me for giving you a compliment. But yeah, I think that the kids that played these games coming up, Age of Empires 2, games like Spyro,
thank you.
World of Warcraft, you're welcome. You're welcome, man. Thank you for thanking me.
Yeah.
I think that these kids are now of the age where they want to go and retry out these games that they hold so fondly in their memory. Like WoW Classic. Like people were like, for years and years, they'd shit, and to go to your point, Knackers, they'd shit on Blizzard and be like, you guys have fucked up World of Warcraft for years. And
dude, you almost disappeared when WoW Classic came back out.
Dude,
again.
I did. It was great.
You kind of did disappear.
Right. I did disappear, like 10 months of disappearance. Yeah. So like nostalgia was driving that, right? And me disappearing, I wanted to experience this thing that I did as a kid that I threw a ton of my time into. And I think that like for years and years, like I said, Blizzard was just eating the shit of the community. There was like, oh, okay, this new expansion came out. This is nothing like Classic. You guys are destroying this game. It's been crappy. Just go back to the old ways. And over again, people, push those narratives, right? And then with WoW, they re-released Classic in the way that it was, to a certain extent was released back in the day. And people then played it and they're like, wow, this actually fucking sucked. Like this was actual hot shit. And I think like, for most people, there's in most developers, there's technical limitations in the older games, right? Like they didn't have enough RAM to do the things that they wanted, or they didn't have enough graphics performance to be able to, create the cinematic experiences. So it's
you can just download more, can't you?
Yeah, you just download more RAM, exactly, or get a new GPU off of one of those websites that sends you some knockoff Chinese brand bullshit that's got like half the
it's like a Night Bright in a box.
yeah.
You
yeah, with like an NVIDIA
with
sticker.
RPGs. You literally get like a Night Bright from the 80s.
Yeah,
like I got RPGs in this bitch. Yeah. I don't know where the PCIe ports are, but damn, it looks good.
Light Bright?
Yeah, Light Bright.
That's what he said.
You said Night Bright.
No,
I meant Light
both.
Bright.
One was for
I meant Light Bright. You know what I meant. Don't
Night Bright was the knockoff for kids that can afford your high class.
See how easy it is to make like a slip, and how like you could easily say tips or tits. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean,
no, we're not giving you. You're still on the line. You're still on the line for that one.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, we're holding it over your head, man.
You got a couple of years. You got to pay the due like everyone else, man.
I'm gonna go get another whiskey. You're talking about World of Warcraft anyway. I'll be right back.
But I think people like hold this nostalgia.
Shut up, knackers. I can't hear you. You can say whatever you want. I don't have my headphones on. You can't hear me. I can't hear you.
Unlucky, man. Unlucky. Jimmy, you guys, this is what geriatrics are all about. He's leaving us, guys.
It's okay. We're not the ones with fishing lures on their shirt.
True. That is true. That is very true.
Big pogs.
Yeah, I think people are just like developers. They want to go back to these things that are holding their community, like holding them. The community's holding them hostage with these previous ideas of what they were able to accomplish. So it's cool to see them revisit them if like the technological advancements can help them develop a better story or better graphics or whatever it is. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, like it's a little bit of like playing on the nostalgia because it's easier to recreate an IP than it is to create a new IP. It's a lot less risk. But we've also seen games like Warcraft 3 where it's like they remaster it and it's, to a certain extent, I didn't play it, but the community was heavily in favor of saying it was dog shit, right? And most people don't play it anymore. So, yeah, I think it works more in gaming just from the technological limitations than it does in the TV world or the movie world where like they're remaking movies to make them more nostalgic or more diverse for no reason. It's just like, for me, do it to a certain extent, but hold a little bit of what people like hang on to a little bit of that nostalgia and make it the true experience and just upgrade the technological pieces of it.
Sure. And I think to your point, you can play off the nostalgia, right? Like you can utilize that, and it's not necessarily that there's anything wrong with it, but you can overplay it. Like you can instead of relying on it, you're banking on it.
It turns into an Easter egg. Like the whole fucking thing becomes an Easter egg hunt of like what you experienced when you were a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess this is kind of plays into the power of the internet, right? The power of the internet, it can make your game like, you think Fall Guys would have been as successful without streaming?
No, I don't think so. No.
Right. So we have the possibility of these small studio games blowing up and creating an amazing space for people to kind of get together and play these games. But then we also have the chance of, one developer said something shitty on Twitter, so the entire world is going to review bomb this game and send it into the fucking dumps.
Yeah.
And you kind of play that. You got to play that game, but at the same time, the risks that developers are playing or are
facing.
Facing. There we go. Facing now. Are they any different than the risks that they played back in the day when there wasn't online exposure, when there wasn't streaming, a chance for your game to just blow up? Because, I mean, really, a game can blow up because one streamer plays it. That's really
true.
all it takes is for one big streamer to give it some light, and then it just trickles down into everybody else. So it sucks because I can't imagine what it's like to work for a development company for a game, still have to have a budget of hundreds of millions of dollars, yet sell a title for $60 still. Like, do you think games should still be $60? Truthfully.
Truthfully, I don't know. I don't know if the model is better if they give it away for free or give it like Fall Guys is $20. I think that gets people in the door immediately so they can build their user base. But like, I don't know if the $60 point, I don't understand what that's all about, right? Like if we look at Nintendo Switch games are more expensive than their digital counterparts, but they actually have to increase the price based on the format that they're delivering the product in, right?
Right.
And those little SD card looking proprietary bullshit pieces of plastic that launch the game that is basically an SD card. So I don't know if the $60 came from, obviously millions of dollars worth of market research to figure out what people were willing to spend,
right?
Or if it came in process with the format that they were delivering on, right? Like if they had to hand you 10 fucking CDs to install the original Call of Duty or 6 CDs, like maybe that's just the cost of manufacturing that. So I don't know. Like I haven't bought. I think AAA title games can continue to sell themselves for $60, but I think what we've seen recently, like even in the past 5-6 years, is that $60 is the norm for the base level game. Like you're not getting all of the content for $60 anymore. You have to spend $80, $90, $100, $120 to get like the pack that unlocks the rest of the content. So I don't think that there's like a set amount. Like I'm willing to spend $100 on a game if it's amazing, but I'm also willing to spend $20 on a game to give it a try, right? So I think that there's like, it depends what is totally available there and how much polishing they've really done. And I think it comes back to the developer to figure out what the value of their game really is. Like maybe for Fall Guys, the $20 investment to get people involved and interested, and then allow them to play, to pay for skins or to pay for further content. Maybe that's the best way to go, but I feel like the $60 number nowadays is kind of a console stuck sort of like new title AAA thing that, it's just a world that they're stuck in.
The price of consoles has more than doubled,
really?
Since, so let's say, price of Xbox, regular Xbox.
One X. Wow.
Well, it was actually $299. So I was kind of wrong.
That's without you're missing the storage, right? How many terabytes is that? Or how many gigabyte?
The original Xbox is probably megabytes. I don't even fucking know at that point. So let's see. And Xbox is the Xbox One X. That's the 4K version, right?
One XS.
So an Xbox One.
No, One X.
Xbox.
There's an Xbox One S that's not. It's the newer version of the Xbox One. It's like the updated. It's like when they had the 360S, right?
Yes.
The One X is the one that has the better hardware on board, better graphics card, CPU, etc., that can play 4K titles. That's the one I currently have in my office.
I have.
So Xbox One was $499.
Yeah, mine's just sitting in my TV stand over there. I complain to Casey every time I see it. Ooh, sure. If you need it.
We'll
I think it's the white one. It's the 4K one.
Pray for that compressor.
Yeah. We'll work it out. We already made the trade for that.
Yeah, we already got that. That was like within 20 minutes of the stream ending.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Mm-hmm. So we've got it so not necessarily doubled, but the prices of consoles, the hardware, the graphics, the longevity, those have all increased, but the price of games, it's been at 60 for well over a decade, right?
True. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So, okay. Take your personal preference of battle royales completely out of the equation. Mm-hmm. Would you rather pay $60 for Call of Duty Warzone or pay $5 a month to play the game?
$5 a month, because I'll get bored of the game within 3 months, 4 months. So eventually it'll pay for itself.
The cat's meowing.
Okay. I have a feeling, and I got to get up to pee right after this. I have a feeling we are moving into a subscription-based game market.
Well, that's what Xbox is doing, right?
Right.
Like if you looked at the announcements for PlayStation versus Xbox, PlayStation's strategy in the next few years is to sell PlayStations. Xbox's strategy, they don't have any sort of exclusive titles that they've announced yet, I don't believe. They haven't really shown anything except for, a little kitty just came into frame. Jimmy's playing with his kitty for any audio listeners. Noble pastime. I know that you're an audio listener. Big shout out.
Big shout out. We could see the eyes come into the frame before anything else.
Yeah.
Well, this is Ray.
This is Ray. Okay.
She's only a year old, and she's she's what we call a munchkin cat. Like she's a rescue. Okay. She has really short like front legs. So she looks like a little like Dotson kitty. It's kind of funny.
Ah. Okay.
Anyway, she gets annoying. She starts meowing at the door if it's closed. So.
Yeah, no shutting doors. That was a rule when I was a kid as well, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, Knackers is leaving now. But yeah, we were just talking about the Xbox and PlayStation, the new strategy, and how Xboxes are kind of like the hardware side of things are kind of going out the window. I don't know. I think for guys like us, the more hardware we can get in our space, sometimes the better. But at the same time, if we can play a game on Xbox, PlayStation, a Switch, if we can just go jump between consoles, that would be fantastic. So the more that it ends up like utilizing software, the better for me, at least.
Well, and that's really been the Xbox strategy now. Like they're really making with the release of the new Xbox this later like holiday this year. I mean, they're more or less bridging the gap where there's not going to be much of a distinction between whether you play it on PC or your Xbox. They don't care what platform they have you on. Did she just open the door?
Maybe. Is she
She can open doors.
Lockpicker. Does she jump
up?
We
have handle doors. She jumps up and pulls down the handle and lets herself.
No way.
Yes, I have video of this.
Why does she not let herself in? Was the door locked?
It's harder to come in. Like I can hold on.
Oh yeah, she's doing it.
She's jumping. Hang on. If you might be able to catch a glimpse.
Maybe for anyone that's an audio listener, behind Jimmy, there's a door. And his cat is currently opening the door. I think the cat is really just fixated on having this door open. She's like, this is not good, right? This is like a mama cat right here, just forcing the door open.
This is the smartest cat we've ever. We've had a lot of cats.
Yeah.
She's insanely smart. And that's kind of a bad thing too, because she gets in a lot of trouble. But
she's actually behind the bed now. I can see the sheet of the bed's kicking up.
Oh yeah, she's back there fucking around. All right.
Sorry. She's going after life. Should we just hop into the next subject here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously COVID-19 has been kind of this little thing that we've all been dealing with. I'm sure in chat, if you guys
5 months.
5 months. Yeah. 5 months. I feel like it's been a little longer than that, honestly.
I feel like it's been 5 fucking years.
Yeah. So COVID-19 obviously has been a thing that's happening. And we've all been relying on things like Netflix, NBC, just, Disney Plus, all of these subscription services. Oh, there's a cat underneath Jimmy's bed sheet right now. It's like that's like the Grudge. You know, the scene where she's got her feet under the sheets and there's something moving around under there. That's there's a cat there.
I can't believe this is the first time that the cat has been in their office for a podcast.
It's literally taking over the podcast. She wants to be on the podcast.
She's usually interacting with my son, but I think my son's watching a movie with my wife, so she's not getting attention, so she wanted to come up here with me.
Yeah, she's dude, that's what Ruby does a little bit. If you take your hand like a claw and go underneath the sheets, she gets all crazy. She goes after it.
It's fun.
Okay, so basically, right, we've all been watching Netflix, Disney Plus, all those different platforms, Hulu, all that good stuff. Some of us haven't. Knackers is shaking his head right now. But at what point, right, with COVID and all of the production houses being shut down, at what point are we going to run out of content, right? Like when is one of the shows going to end up there's nothing new, right? Because there's been this big hiatus. And just so you guys know, if you don't know, usually shows are produced 12 months ahead, and then they go through the production process and they get approved, and then they get bought by a studio, or they've already been financed by a studio. And by the time you see it, it's basically been in the works for an entire year. So because we've got like this backlog of COVID and people not being able to produce content, we might not see any new shows for a while. So I'm wondering, like, to myself, maybe Netflix and like ABC and a few of these subscription services are going to get a bit dry here until, when stuff starts kicking off. Obviously, there's going to be more of an acceleration for people to get back into production. We'll see some new shows kicking up. But it's going to be a bit weird for a little while. And that's just like one of the ripple effects of people being stuck at home for 4 or 5 months.
So I agree to a point, and my point is very short, Jimmy. You can go right after. I know people that have watched The Office 10 times through.
Sure.
For some people, it's not going to be an issue. That's all I'll have on that at the moment.
One thing I'm going to say, and I was shaking my head no, like I have all those services. I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have Disney Plus, and then I have Amazon Prime Video. I have all those streaming services. So since COVID has started, and this kind of goes into a question that I asked on Twitter today, and there are a few responses to it. Since COVID has started, I think it's changed some viewing habits more. For me personally, I was making this comment earlier today. I love like the movie theater experience and going to movies to go see films. I don't see myself stepping foot in a fucking movie theater for a while,
right?
And I have not consumed nearly as much TV. Ironically, not nearly as much during this time, even though I've been spending more time at home. But that's also because I'm a Twitch streamer and I've been spending more time on Twitch, and I've consumed a lot more Twitch content, whether I've been streaming it or I've been watching other streamers that I enjoy watching. So that's really bridged the gap for me. Do I think that there's some people that always are consuming just that type of content that it'll be dry for? Yeah, but they're going to do something similar that they did. If they run out of content, they can easily produce. If they realize there's going to be a schedule gap, that's why reality TV became so prevalent about 10 to 15 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember. If you're old enough, you remember. There was like a big writer's strike.
Yeah.
And so there was no new TV content. It was like the Screenwriters Guild and like all these writer strikes. So for like 6 months, there was basically just a ton of reality television. And I think what we'll see is that you'll see these short production times and more reality type programming until the scripted programming gets back into it. I think that's probably what they're going to fill the gap with. And generally, those are relatively cheap to produce compared to scripted programming. Not that I'm an expert. Did you hear what I said to all that?
Yep.
Okay.
And
I agree.
That fucking hurt. I went all in. I just want to let you know that.
Your ribs just ripped out of the cage itself. You uncaged the bird. I agree with Jimmy. What's going to be interesting is typically like there's independent production houses that go and produce a show, and they do like the first season, and then they go and shop around and see if anyone wants to buy it. And this happens a lot. So they'll produce some show, and then eventually it gets to the studios, and they're like, okay, that's a really stupid fucking idea, and you guys just wasted 6 months recording this. So what might be interesting is because they don't have a ton of inventory, some of this content might get surfaced. So we might see some really interesting stuff that we wouldn't normally see. And it could, like Tiger King, right? Like Tiger King blew up, and it wouldn't, like, obviously that happened pre-COVID, but some storylines and documentary series like that might pop up that are just completely out of our norm of what type of content that we're usually used to, watching. So that'll be interesting just to see like what sort of weird shit we end up seeing because of COVID, because there wasn't anything else to air at that hour. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm actually kind of surprised, and this could be that I didn't see it because I don't have television, or I don't have cable, and I haven't really been paying attention.
You're off the grid.
Sort of, kind of.
Right.
I'm surprised that more esports did not leak into cable television because of the absence of actual sports. Like, I know there was like a good chunk that made it on, but I'm surprised that there wasn't like a complete influx of live video game content that made it onto television. I think when it comes to television, think about all of the stuff that is available for streaming at the moment. and then think about all of the content that isn't currently licensed for live streaming. Right. I feel like if they started getting dry, they could just be like, okay, well, let's just make Friends available on every single streaming platform. And then people would lose their fucking mind. Like, oh my God, I get to watch Friends again? Are you kidding me? So it is something weird to think about, because there is a certain point where you've watched absolutely everything. Right. And for me personally, I haven't watched any more TV or movies. I have watched so much more Twitch. And one of my favorite things about working from home right now is that I can have somebody's Twitch stream up while I'm working. There are so many people that I have loved watching during the day that I am not able to catch at all. And there is, when you're working a full-time job and you are also trying to stream on Twitch, there is little to none time to go out there and support, let alone the people that you enjoy watching. There's no time to go out and find new people, to go out into new spaces. And there's nothing you can do about it, but it does kind of make you feel a little bit guilty. It's like, how come I can find so much time to create content for myself and build up my own community, but I can't go out and support anybody else? So being home and being able to be in other people's channels, even if I'm lurking and I'm not even making myself known, being able to consume somebody else's content and enjoy it has been sort of revitalizing for me in a way as a creator. Like, when all you do is create and you don't consume at all, you kind of get stale in your own ways a little bit. So it's been 100%. It's been very, very refreshing for me to be able to take a step back, deep breath, check out what other people are doing. And you know, we talk all the time about how you should never base the quality of your relationship with another human based on how often you see them, or how often you talk, or God forbid, how often they raid you. But, you know, being able to spend a little bit of time and you know, nourishing that relationship a little bit, it feels good. And it makes you feel like you're doing their part on their behalf instead of just take over and over again. So that's been awesome for me, for sure.
Yep. This ties into Jimmy's point just before you go, Jimmy, about the changing in viewing habits post-COVID. So that was one of Jimmy's points that he put down, and I think that's a perfect segue. So go ahead, Jimmy.
That's literally what I was going to say. But thank you for stealing my thunder.
No, we're so fucking good. You guys know how good we are? Like, are we going to blow each other or what?
This is impeccable.
Post-Crocs show. So I put a question on Twitter, and it directly ties into this topic. And this is just kind of an extension of this topic, more or less. So really, you kind of stole my idea and kind of twisted it in your own to talk more. But you know what? We'll let it pass because I like you. So I posted a question on Twitter today, and I asked and I got a few responses. It was, have your Twitch viewing habits changed since COVID? And like, I got Olivinsky, who's been a awesome longtime member of the community, fellow Texan, so he gets props. Says, I've watched and supported more streamers since and through COVID. Which is going directly at what you said. Am from Texas. Also, ironically, also from Texas.
No shit.
We're gonna need a fact check. We're gonna need a fact check this. Seems like a lot of people from Texas.
No. There's. I mean, believe it or not, there's smart people here.
I need selfies with sunglass tans for proof.
Okay. Well, said COVID is 100% the reason I even have Twitch habits. Well, quarantine, I guess. I was way less active before I was forced to hang out with my IRL friend in his stream. Really thankful for it. Actually, I'd never go back. I met too many amazing humans in a short time. Hijabi Homegirl, kind of a new person to my channel, responded, said, I didn't even watch Twitch before COVID. Now I'm waiting on my stuff to ship so I can do a proper stream. And then Gerthy responded, I only watched occasionally. That said, I don't know if it was COVID or run-of-the-mill boredom that's led to me watching more streams. I think, and this is my own opinion here, the way that Twitch, I mean, now compared to YouTube, it's still relatively small, right? But the way that Twitch has grown in viewership and everything else recently, I think part of it is that people have more time, of course, because of the quarantine. But the other I think, unexpected side effects, and what Twitch gives that for the most part YouTube does not, is you get that personal interaction. And because of the quarantine and because of the fact that people are isolated at home and they don't get the chance to get the normal social interactions that they get, they're becoming more enamored with a platform where you can get those interactions, whether it's from the streamer or members of the community. And that's my opinion of why, I've been drawing on Twitch a lot more in the last few months from my own streaming community as well as others. And to piggyback on what you said, there's so many great streamers that I would have never had the chance to watch or spend time with thanks to COVID and working from home and doing stuff from home that I wouldn't have the ability to do that. Obviously, that's not the case for everyone because depending on what your job is, you may not be able to do it from home. I'm fortunate that I have a position where I can, and I know that's not the same way for everyone, and I feel grateful that I can do that. But anyway, to make a long story short, I think that the COVID thing was like a weird sort of perfect storm for what Twitch brings to the table and why Twitch has exploded in popularity in the last few months, and that's what I think happened. So.
I actually didn't think about that. Out of all of the things that I've thought about regarding Twitch and content and COVID, I never thought about the longing for some sort of connection with somebody. And it actually kind of feeds into another conversation that was unfolding in your Discord today regarding parasocial relationships, people latching on. That is a real fear too. And I don't think we have enough time to necessarily get into that conversation tonight. But it is something that is very, very important.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have said it better than Jimmy. I don't know about Knackers, but I probably could have said it better than him. But, I totally agree. I think that the connection with people, just being able to communicate with people in real time is really nice. Previous to COVID and previous to moving in with Casey, I spent a lot of time on Twitch, so much so that I didn't even notice how much time I was spending on Twitch. But and Casey actually had to tell me, she's like, hey, like you'd probably get more work done if you weren't like constantly in chat typing. I used to be in like 5 or 6 streams a day and just sitting and it would consume my entire day. And then 7 o'clock would roll around and then I would stream myself. I'd be like, holy fuck, where did my day go?
Yeah.
But I see a bit of that, like returning with Twitch. Like I whenever I'm on this podcast, you ask, what streams have you been watching? Right. And I think to myself like, oh, I haven't been watching that many streams. And then after the podcast gets over, I talk to Casey and then she's like, yeah, you've been watching this person. Like you're constantly watching Twitch. And then I realize it and I come to realization. I'm like, holy shit, I watch Twitch almost 24/7. Like I am constantly in chats. A little less. I think I've kind of taken a different role where like typically I'd be in community streams like your stream, Knackers, or Middle Age, but I find that I'm required in a certain way, like to communicate and talk. So I find myself in chats that are like Peekaboo or something like that, or Soda Poppin', where like I don't have to interact with chat and I turn chat off completely, or I watch YouTube to where I don't have to like constantly be typing in chat. So I think with a lot of people now coming back, and having to work from home, like the social interaction part of life kind of has dwindled, right? It's missing. So whether or not you're doing, FaceTime calls or Zoom meetings to talk to your friends, I mean, a lot of people are not doing that. So they've kind of had to find different places to be able to, capitalize on just being able to talk to other people. So, I mean, I don't think I have been changed. I don't think my habits have changed just because I've worked from home for the past 6, 7, 8 years. I'm definitely happy that Twitch is around, because I think if we were all watching YouTube videos, it would just be like without the human connection. It's kind of it feels a little less genuine, right?
Oh yeah, Like when I think about my content, right, and my career on Twitch, and if I would have spent the last 7 years just making YouTube videos, like. It's not even a question in my mind. Like, no, I long for the live experience. I long for that interaction, and the relationships that I built. And I'm sure that I could have built great relationships on YouTube too if I focus on YouTube instead. But there's something about the live experience that really, really just puts the cherry on top.
It's just more authentic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's more authentic. It's less. I think that's the big draw is that
there's mistakes, like you say titties instead of
you say tits instead of tips, or homo instead of homeboy. You know what I mean? It's just there's something about having the live draw. I think it's just more authentic, and people are naturally drawn to that sort of thing.
Oh yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I've shared this on stream. I've had my own personal mental health issues I've had to work through since this whole thing started, and that's related to like repressed stuff from years back. And long story short, there were a few nights, especially those first few months of the whole quarantine thing, where I wasn't sleeping, and I would just go into a stream that I felt comfortable in and knew the streamer and I knew the community, and was just like, man, I can't sleep. And and someone's like, pour yourself whiskey, hang out with us for a bit till you feel tired. It's just that sort of thing. It's just it's a comforting thing. So
it's cozy.
I think that's one of the reasons why all of this is really kind of built momentum for Twitch over these last few months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do we have time for one more subject?
We do. Next. We've got about 10 minutes before we should pop. We got quite a few questions. So
would you guys rather do one on marketing from the military or on Doc's return to stream? I think I know what Jimmy's answer is going to be. What would you rather?
I have a really short answer, I think, for the military one. So we could do that one pretty quick. I think we could do. I think we could do both of those topics. Those two topics.
Let's fire through these. Okay, cool. So recently, a younger congresswoman, I'm forgetting her name, but she's
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, otherwise known as AOC.
AOC. Yep, she's been going at it against the military, marketing on Twitch and using Twitch as a platform to communicate with the younger audience to be able to recruit for the military. And she took it to Congress, and they ended up basically drop kicking her out, and because they don't understand anything about the internet. So basically, my question is, does marketing by the military on Twitch create an unnecessarily parallel in game violence with real world combat? And I'll start by saying, in my opinion, I feel like gaming and esports have always been trying to shy away from like what the content is within the game, right? Like we can differentiate between watching a 007 movie and actually going to real war with espionage and all that stuff. So I do see myself, like, I don't want gaming and like playing Call of Duty to be correlated with going to physical war, because I think Jimmy can speak to the experience that it's not the same whatsoever. And to market it in the same way kind of creates an expectation of the person that it's going to be somewhat of the same. And I think that's can lead to some negative consequences at the end of the day. It's not much of the same. And I personally like the fact that we have the opportunity with games to emulate certain feelings, emotions, situations without actually having to experience them. And I feel like communities, corporations or communities in the world that want to capitalize on that to maybe pull people out of the simulation and put them into the real world. I feel like it could only have negative repercussions, but that's just my 2 cents on the situation.
So I have a really short response to this. So the question being, should the U.S. military be allowed to market and advertise on Twitch? Well, in particular, not all. It's only the United States Army.
Okay.
That I think were the ones. The Marines already are not. I don't think the Air Force. I think it's the U.S. Army is the only branch that had been doing it. Here's my opinion. It should be allowed if it's on a mature audiences only channel where it's 18 plus. Because you obviously have to be 18 years old without a parental consent to join the military. So you shouldn't be advertising that sort of thing outside of it. I think it's fair game in a mature audience channel. In a, like, if it is not, now this doesn't mean that it's more of a liability thing. You know what I mean? Like, but like those big time streamers that are not mature audiences channel, like they shouldn't have any advertising for military stuff on theirs. That's my opinion. If it's in a mature category, that's fine. This doesn't mean as well as I do that young eyes aren't going to see it. Well, people know that the military is a thing. They shouldn't be focusing that on large viewed channels that are not mature audience channels, in my opinion. I think that's wrong. And I do think it's essentially you are making you're romanticizing war. and what it's like to be like an operator or be in the military. There's a romanticization of this idea of being like this American hero and being out and going and I know because I, in a sense, not that I was an American hero or anything, but I was in the military, but I kind of was a little brainwashed for a little while in my early time in, because there's a lot of propaganda there. This is not something that the Army has not been doing for a long time. Even when I was back in high school, they had a game that had just come out. It was called like it was like a really pretty good like shooting tactical game that you could play on PC called America's Army. And it came out in the late 90s. And it was a huge recruiting tool for the military. It was aimed towards teenagers. So this is nothing new. You can go all the way back to we're talking centuries. The military, we as a country, and not just a lot of around the world too, the romanticization of war and conflict has been a common theme throughout world history over the years. This is just one other layer of that. And I'm speaking as a veteran and also as a history teacher that I've seen this throughout the decades. There's plenty of examples. So that's my 2 cents. Ready to go. Your turn. We're live.
Do you need another second to think? Because I could.
I don't think that I have a. I don't think it's. I don't think I have an opinion worth listening to. I don't think I have an opinion worthy of.
Can I speak over you then, since I see something I would like to respond to in chat, even though you told me not to look at chat?
I didn't say that.
I know. But Amber's Arcade. So Amber's Arcade in chat. I'm going to call you at Amber because I know you're a Navy vet. So I'm going to call you a squid because that's what we Army guys like to do. But I got a lot of respect for Amber. I know that she is extremely intelligent, very, very just a savvy individual. The comment that she just wrote in chat was, we had recruiters at my high school when I was a freshman, not even 15 years old. Is that worse? I think in that sense, and working in a high school, like our recruiters are limited to only being able to be in the cafeteria, like the common area, and in the career center. The recruiters that are there, they have, if you are interested in the military as a possible career, they're there on occasion to talk to kids. I don't think that's a problem because at that point, most of the ones that they're going to talk to are like juniors and seniors and stuff anyway. I don't see that as a problem because the military is a valid career for people to do because it's not just people running around pulling triggers and shooting guns. There's a lot of things that the military does, a lot of jobs that don't even require really much in the way of combat in the sense once you make it through basic training. So in that regard, I think it's fine. But in the regard that if you've got little kids watching advertisements for getting recruited in the military because they like a shooter or FPS or battle royale on Twitch, I think that's disingenuous and that should stop. I do think that should stop. So. Yeah,
I think creating the parallel between the real world and the game, what did you call it? Fantasy, the romanticization of like the combat and the violence is completely different in the real world, right? So I think that it creates a false expectation that it's going to be relatively the same, which it's completely different, right? So I think you raised a good point, Jimmy, with like the advertisement. Like if it isn't a mature stream, right? With like if I'm a 12-year-old kid watching Animal Crossing, maybe when it cuts to an ad break showing like a bunch of drones flying around with like technical bullshit on the screen, that makes you feel like that like we're using it turns it into a video game, like a gamified military experience. I think that's a little bit misleading. Whether or not I'm the person to make the judgment whether someone should be able to market or advertise to a certain set of people on a certain platform, honestly, I think it should be up to Twitch. If Twitch is like, we don't really feel like that's the thing for us, maybe they don't allow that. But I think that with any of these systems, you have to consider whether the government getting involved is really worth it, or if it could just be handled by the people and the people that own the platform just to make the decision. maybe that's the best way to
yeah,
to go
but
about it.
when you have the people on the platform that are just getting a check from the government,
Yeah, maybe
I mean that's different. They're not gonna. They're not gonna. I mean, I like what you're thinking, but the corporations only care about profits. So if someone's gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna pay you $500,000 to drop this thing in this stream every hour," I mean, what are they not gonna say no? You know what I mean? So this is one of those things where you have to draw the line. Like, in my opinion. Again, you guys know what my background is, and it's just my opinion. I don't think it's appropriate at all to be in any sort of underage. I'm not saying it's going to be totally hidden. You guys know as well. Isn't when Dr. Disrespect was on? See how I'm segueing here? When Dr. Disrespect was on Twitch, did he have mature audience's channel?
Ooh, good question. I think so. Maybe.
How much of his audience? How much of his audience was 18 plus?
Right, especially when he started talking about 5G and Suge Knight.
You see what I'm saying? It's people can see it. You know what I mean? And so you're not going to be able. It's just like you can go to a fucking 11-year-old can have his friend Billy say, "I found this cool website called Pornhub, and we need to go check it out."
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping that kid from accessing the website except a few clicks of a button. So
right.
But that's still regulated because those websites have.
Yeah, Pornhub. It says when you go there initially, or Pornhub, it says, "Are you 18 years old? Yes or no?" And if they're saying yes, they're liars. So they shouldn't be allowed on the website, Jimmy. I got you. There's a
the
page,
computer's going to turn around and not let them watch any of that prawn, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because they're liars, dude.
So
freaking lying.
This is one of those things that's like a microeconomics versus macroeconomics thing.
Yeah.
For the average person, it's not going to make a difference. But for the community as a whole, like the whole like U.S., for example, we're talking about the U.S. military. I think not advertising that in shooters and streams like that. I think that's a thing. But shit, I don't agree with all of her policies, but I follow AOC on Twitter, and she made this funny tweet, and I couldn't help but laugh. It was about. I just tried to explain to the members of Congress what Twitch was. Yeah. And I'm like, good luck with that.
Yeah, good.
You know what I mean? You got
luck.
a bunch of old fucking boomers in there. Good luck with that, AOC. You know?
Next thing you know, we're getting taken down with TikTok next fucking next month.
You know. But
wait, there's people that play video games online? What the fuck? They should be working.
This is perfect segue to our last point before we hit the Q&A so we don't run out of time here. But the last point was... I don't, regardless of how you feel about the guy, I'm not talking because I've never really been a huge Dr. Disrespect fan of his content. However, I have been a fan of the fact that the guy easily has one of the best like audio visuals, like cleanest productions I've ever seen on. He's
one of the greatest of all time. He's one of the greatest.
Incredible.
Yeah,
like it's something. The stream, regardless of how I feel about his personal life, all the stuff that's come out about him. I am just in awe over how his production quality. It's just incredible. And a lot of streamers feel the same way. And I think Dr. Disrespect, what he did to Twitch was he really like upped the game for production quality for a lot of streamers. So that's good, right? Well, we don't know what happened. It's still out there. We don't really know. But the dude just had his first stream on YouTube this last weekend, and I think he had over 500,000 people watching at one point. And I was watching it. I watched about 10 minutes of his stream just to see. I just wanted to see. Okay? I swear to God, that guy in the 10 minutes that I watched, he probably had at least $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 of tips, bits, and stuff in 10 minutes. Like I was just like,
and that's not
shit.
Acknowledging the community is even there.
No, being on just the guy's a force. So the question was, I guess I didn't really add a question. What do you guys think of all this? Like, it's just he brought it up like it was clipped, and there's already like all these YouTube videos about what Doc said in his first stream back. Does he really not know why Twitch banned him?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he knows. I'm pretty sure just legally he can't say what
the character doesn't know.
Yeah, the character doesn't know. Exactly.
Right.
But it was interesting because, like I said, I've never been a huge Dr. D guy, but I can respect the fact that the guy's production quality is just off the fucking charts.
Yeah.
You know?
And he knows how to work the fucking social media game. He knows how to milk things. He knows how to market them. He knows how to build hype. Yeah, just driving the train with the two penises.
Milking and driving.
I am somebody who has never been a regular watcher of Disrespect. I have been a avid highlight reel watcher where the highlights, compilations on YouTube have always been funny. I enjoy the majority of his humor, but the very like alpha toxic kind of overconfident sort of personality is not something that I find beneficial to young adults who are trying to come up and grow into people that they should be. There's been a lot of controversial things that he has done in his past. But on the grand scheme of things, like, yeah, recording in a bathroom, pretty shitty.
Literally.
Literally.
Hey, give him a come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Thank
you.
Yeah. Cheating on your wife. Not cool. Cool.
Allegedly,
exactly.
There's all these conspiracy theories about whether that even happened.
Exactly.
If that was a fucking social media ploy.
Never know these days.
But the fact that that's even a question, doesn't it make it insane?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, I could never in a million fucking years. Well, first of all, I wouldn't cheat on my wife. But even if I was thinking about having, like, let's say I had a huge presence on Twitch or Twitter or whatever, and I was bringing in thousands of people per stream, right? Like his case. I don't think I would ever in a million years have that thought go through my mind. Hey, you know what I could do to really generate some fucking like viewership? Yeah. Like get caught up in a fake scandal and I'll fake that I cheated on my wife.
Right.
I don't know if that's what happened or whatever. It's mind-blowing that that's even a possibility, you know?
Yeah. I've worked for a few of these kind of guys in different industries, whether it's motorsports or golf or whatever it is, that they're always thinking outside of the box. And when you hear their ideas, you're like, God, this guy's a fucking crazy person, right? Like, this is just insane, right? Like, this isn't going to work. And then somehow they just constantly attract the attention of people because they're just like, it's like, okay, it's like this guy watched some how to make it video, and he's literally trying to employ that in everything that he's doing. I think that, like, Doc, I mean, you hit it on the head, Jimmy. The guy, what he's done on the platform is much better than what he's done, I think, as a man. But at the same time, this goes back to our initial discussion in this podcast, where we're talking about, like, when you're streaming for a long period of time, it's really hard to filter out the bullshit that's going to happen, right? You're going to say stuff, you're going to make mistakes. And I think that plays into Dr. Disrespect's persona, right? The guy's an act, right? The whole thing is a big act that's happening on screen. And I think the worst of his content is when his personality starts to slip through, when he starts to play games and he's getting frustrated and it's hard for him to stay focused. And then you kind of see a blend between the guy being
the real person and the character.
Yeah. Yes. In the character, right? Knackers talked about, like, how certain people are modeling themselves after, like, the toxic personality of what he's like as a gamer. But that mentality and behavior has been around forever in gaming, right? Like playing Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, 4, people were the most toxic assholes ever. I mean, Keemstar is notorious for this type of shit. If you go back and watch how he played Halo back in the day, like, that was like the image of, like, the typical lobby of players. And the 2020 kid that sits on Twitter all day that cries about whenever a company makes a post that's not politically correct, they would fucking shrivel up and die in a community run server back in Halo days, right? So I think that's what he's like he's the embodiment of, like, toxic masculinity and toxic communities within gaming. And by doing that, like, sure, there's people that model themselves after how he behaves and acts, but I think it brings the eyes to, like, what the behavior really is. And he's going after people that are, like, little toxic douchebags. And I like that about him. Now, when I sit and watch, like, a long stream of Doc, I'm not a big fan. Like, I like the small clips. The clips are great. But with any content that's live, it's really hard to have consistent hitting the head on the nail with like funny jokes and stuff like that. But I think like if I was competing with them realistically, if I had all the same, all the same opportunities as him, I think he would destroy me completely with just keeping shit interesting over and over again. So I have a certain amount of respect for him being able to stay in line and stay, as the character that he is. A lot of people don't like him because he's literally toxic masculinity at its most. Like he's the embodiment of that.
Yeah. Well, that's the name of the character. It's Dr. Disrespect.
Exactly. So I think people like fans typically get that mixed up and they don't know how to differentiate between the act and the character, or like the act and the person. And they don't know, like they get offended based on what the act is, but you really have to have some sort of respect for what is being presented there, even if Guy Beam, the person, is somewhat of who that Dr. Disrespect character is. Sorry, Jimmy, go ahead.
100% believe he is partly him, but it's not the same. It is an act, it is.
I would say mostly.
It may be, but I will say this too, and then we'll leave it because I know we got to hit the Q&A. We're running low on time, but one last thing I want to say on this is that, like I said, I'm not a huge Dr. Disrespect fan at all, and I don't think any of us here are. But I think if you are a streamer on Twitch or even just a viewer on Twitch, however you feel about him as an individual, if that guy wasn't on the platform, streams wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
He has made so many people up their game in streaming. And so that's why I like talking about him, because he draws such a huge viewership in, and because of how he is, and people want to emulate that. Not necessarily the act or the facade of the character, but the high production quality shows that he puts on. And I know me personally, I've drawn a lot of things from not him the character, but the production and how he does transitions from scenes and just the cool things that he does on his channel, and that's what I find fascinating about Dr. Disrespect. So
absolutely, you have to respect what he's done. I mean, and what he's doing. He is doing it unlike anybody else is doing it. And if you can't see that, then you're blinded by your emotion and your own judgment.
True. Q&A time, Knackers.
Just do it, Knack.
Yeah, just do it.
There are some questions. There are quite a few questions. So we're going to
we'll roll through them.
Jump into the Q&A. So I want you to be fruitful with your answers, but also be mindful of the time as well. If it was up to me, I would go until 1 fucking a.m. answering these questions. So it's all on you guys how much time you decide you want to spend. First question comes from Glitch Phantom Streams. Asks DT990 Pro or DT1990 Pro. So it's the difference between two different headsets.
We have 990s right now.
Oh.
Yep.
I have no idea what the 1990 is.
So. Here is what I will say. Audio is one of the most subjective things in the history of mankind.
Mm-hmm.
Only you can decide whether or not you can tell the difference between a 250 ohm headset and a 600 ohm headset. For me, this headset, the sounds they're good, and I like it.
It's good,
and that's it. So, do you want to spend $300-$400 on headphones? Go ahead. Could I tell the difference between the two? I have no idea, and I personally don't really care to find out because what I have now sounds great. So, in my opinion, it's totally up to you. You can't go wrong with either. Both headsets are fucking phenomenal, and Jimmy and I can both speak for the DT990 Pros that they are a fantastic pair of them.
I hadn't used a headset ever until I got these. Knackers kind of talked me into buying it. One of the few things he's actually talked me into doing. And I ended up getting these. And I honestly, even though they're not quite as good as having earbuds, as far as they do warm my ears get hot.
That's fair.
Yeah.
However, they're open back. They have a really good light material that you can replace if you need to, if they get too crusty or whatever. They're fantastic. And the sound quality is better than what I had out of my Bose in-ear headphones, which were really good sound quality, but these are even better. So you can't Yeah, you can't go wrong with these headsets.
Did you just eat a popped cherry, Bishop?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I stabbed it. I lanced it with the metal spoon or the metal straw. Sorry, not a spoon, a straw. Then just fired that up. I think with audio, you don't know what you don't know. It's like the DBX didn't have any fucking clue that existed. Didn't even consider it in a loop. Like I would have recommended a great microphone going into a mixer. You don't know what you don't know. So like, if you buy something like what I have, which is a wireless set of Steel Series, you're going to be happy, right? You're going to be happy. If you buy a great set of whatever these fucking ST or DT 990s, you'll probably be happy. But if you get a bunch of different variables and try them against each other, you're eventually going to be like, okay, these ones are the best. So whether or not you need the best to start out, you might not need it.
There's something to your comment too, in the sense that when you're saying you don't know what you don't know, I didn't even know. I went to I have a music shop that's not far from where I live that has all kinds of microphones there, including this one. They had the SM7B. They had a bunch of different podcasting microphones, and they had a sound room where you could test them all out. Yeah. And I tested out what I sounded like on an RE320 as opposed to an SM7B, and I liked the RE320 better. I thought I sounded better on this mic.
Yep.
You don't really know until you try something out. So if you can find a place where you can sample it, then that might make your decision easier.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's a question crossed off.
Next question from Bearded Corvus. Jimmy, what sour beer would you recommend for the first time trying a sour beer?
Okay, so this is an easy one that you can find just about anywhere. You know Sierra Nevada, their most popular brand is like their pale ale. It's kind of like a light green. You guys have probably seen that. That's their most popular beer. Sierra Nevada sells a beer called a Gose, which is what sour beer is. It's not a top tier sour beer, but it's very similar to a lot of other sour beers. So if you drink it and you're like, you really don't really like it a lot, you might not be into sour beers. So try the Sierra Nevada Gose. It's cheap. It's easy to find. And they sell it in 6-packs. Go broke on that. That'd be your entry level. If you taste it and you feel like it tastes like shit, then you might not want to be trying any other sour beers.
And if you feel like going balls to the wall, look out for a Monk's Sour Ale. And if you like that, you will like all sours. Next question from Satan's PR Girl. What tips would you give to someone who wants to start streaming?
Just start.
We're gonna start another podcast. Do we start another podcast for this question?
I think it's what I've boiled it down to recently is literally just start. Just go live. Don't overthink it. Don't think of all the hardware and all the bullshit that goes into it. Tell your friends that you're streaming so you have some people there to talk to. Don't really focus on all of the little nitpicky stuff. You're not going to ever be as good as the person next to you unless you just put the time in. So you just have to get used to it. Get people involved. Find a couple clips, fun things that happen. Post them on Twitter. People will come. And slowly just, people will come. Just keep them coming.
They're just going to come all over the place.
They're just going to come all over the place. So you really just want to get them involved.
You just want to keep people coming, which I'm fairly certain is another industry, which outside of streaming, that's their main goal. But
onlyfeed.com.
My suggestion would be this. It's more or less what Bish said. And that's I followed that advice in the sense that when I started streaming, I streamed with an Xbox and a Kinect for the first few months before I built my first PC, and I watched YouTube videos to figure out how the fuck to do it. I had no idea what I was doing. Even the second PC I built, I was like installing fans backwards. Knackers had to help me out. I'd be like, hey, your fan is backwards, bro. But it's one of those things that you build up over time. Don't go out. If you're going to start streaming, the biggest advice I can give to is if you have a console, fucking stream from the console. Don't go out and buy all this shit that you don't need if you don't even know if you like streaming. I have seen it happen multiple times.
I hate streaming.
I'm going to start streaming. I'm going to go out, and they end up buying out all this freaking equipment that they spend tons of money on stuff that in 3 months they're not even using anymore. I'm like, dude, why would you do that? Yep. Just stream with what you got. If it's something that you like, then eventually you can monetize it. You can use the profits. It's exactly what I did. I used the profits from my stream to get more stuff to make the stream better until I eventually got the setup the way I wanted. I got the microphone I wanted. I got the other computer I wanted, mixer that I wanted,
all of that.
Personal
stuff.
assistants, esthetician, personal chef. I mean, I'm living the fucking dream. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's
you do have a personal chef though.
His name's Billy.
I do.
But anyway,
so about your wife.
Oh yeah, she's pretty good
too.
How easily forgotten you have forgot.
You forgot you were married, Jimmy. You're married, by the way.
But no, just the best advice I can give is stream with what you got, and don't if you're gonna do it. And as cliche as this sounds, it really is true. People are gonna know. I know the person asking this question, so I know you're not like that. So, but there are some people that just get into streaming for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Like the reason being, like, oh, I want to be the next fucking, Dr. Disrespect or, Asmund Gold Glove.
Yeah,
I don't know what the.
You don't create an Instagram account to become a bikini model. You just create one to tell your story and just treat it like that. Just start streaming like it's a social media. Just do it. Don't get into it. Don't get into it for money, because the truth is there's very, very few streamers on any platform that could use it that could take over their full-time income. So. And the last thing I'll say before Knackers, I just want to get this point in because I know that's probably one of his points. Audio is more important than video. 100%. 100%.
Yes. It is. I will say this. When you talk to people and you are trying to go out and get advice about how to start streaming, when to start streaming, what you should have in order to start streaming in regards to hardware, a personality, a community. Think about it like any other hobby. Can you imagine going up to one of your friends and saying, hey, I kind of want to start skateboarding. And then for them to say, oh, dude, there's already so many people skateboarding these days. Like, if you were to start now, like, it's already so late in the game. If you were just to do it, nobody would really see you.
You need the best skateboard, too. You need you literally the best trucks, the best board. You need all the best shit. Unless you're from the beginning. You're going to fail.
Yep. You need to you have a skate deal from the beginning. You need to be on the cover of Thrasher.
No, you need to make sure you have your Red Bull sponsorship before you even fucking step foot on that skateboard, baby.
There you go. You need to jump into Earth's atmosphere from space from a Red Bull capsule. You're gonna want to.
Yeah, you're gonna want to hit El Toro. You're gonna want to hit that right
away. Realize what you need to do. The first thing you need to do before you do anything is set your expectation. And what I mean by that is you need to have an expectation of 0. Mm-hmm. You have already identified within yourself that you have a genuine interest in trying this thing out. Just try it out, because you're going to suck for the first little while, and that's okay. You just
if you're like me, that's going to be 4 years.
5 years here. It's going to be a while.
At least 4 years.
What I will say is make today the last time you ask somebody advice on how you need to start streaming. Make today the very last day, because you will.
Hey, man.
There you go.
You're like a fucking life coach, man. Do we need to get you? Hey, we need to. Yo, we can start marketing next.
Is now a bad time to announce my ebook? Seriously, just if you have an interest in it, just go for it, and know that you're not going to be alone whether you succeed or fail. You have so many people within all of these communities that are going to be able to help you along the way. Just go for it and give it a shot.
Hit us up on Twitter. If you go live, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know.
You shut up. I got things to say.
Okay, sorry.
That was good. Yeah, whatever you do, make sure whatever time you're going to stream, make sure you make a go live tweet. No, don't do that. That was
hashtag small streamers. Hashtag support small streamers.
That was streaming back in 2015.
Yeah, use hashtag. Just spam everybody.
Big thing I would say, Beck, aka Satan's PR girl. You have been a big part that I think you have an advantage too, because you have been around the platform a long time and have seen other streamers. I think a lot of people that start streaming for the first time, they get in, they don't really know Twitch. Like, you already know Twitch.
Yep.
So you already have that advantage from the viewer side.
El Toro. Just hit El Toro.
When I started streaming, I had been on the platform for like only a couple months, and I did not really know Twitch. So I made a lot of mistakes as a streamer. The same mistakes you will not make. So that's an advantage for those people that have seen Twitch grow for a long time. So, you're gonna just do it. Just do it. Yeah, as what's his name says, the guy in Indiana Jones, the shitty Indiana Jones. What's his name?
Send it. Totoro.
No, just do it.
That's
do it.
I thought it was I
Mike
hate
Myers.
snakes.
What?
Yeah, I thought he said, "Watch out for the boulder, Indy."
No, Sheila
that's
Buff.
the one.
Yes, thank you, Combat. Wow, I said thank you and Combat in the same sentence.
Oh, you fucked up.
Wow, you're
That's
fucked.
wow.
Dude.
Next question.
That's weird.
Wow.
All right.
What do you think the impact loot box systems and other microtransactions has had on the games developed and released?
We talked about this like months ago. Long story short, I think
I have so many cherries.
it's bullshit. I don't like games. If it's anything, I don't care about loot boxes. If it's what's the word I'm looking for, Knackers? When it's like, if I'm changing my shirt, skins. Thank you.
Shirts
If it's skins or something that's visual and has no effect on gameplay, you can microtransaction the shit out of that. But when the moment you start making it deal with gameplay, it's fucked up. You shouldn't do that. That's my opinion.
Yep, I agree right there with Jimmy. If you have a cosmetic piece in the game, great. Sell us a ton of skins. We love it. Let us earn a few. We love it. It's fantastic. But just don't alter with the gameplay. EA games. And give anyone pay to win abilities. Blizzard. No specific developer. Just EA, Blizzard. Activision. Blizzard, EA. Knacker Stream.
Excuse me. I only spent $300 on Rocket League skins, okay?
Only.
I think that the introduction of microtransactions absolutely interrupted the space as far as we've never seen so many free-to-play games in our fucking life in the past couple years than we have in our entire time of gaming. So while I think...
Dude, what a fucking what you're going at right now, the road you're going down right now is legendary. That's a great point.
You guys are blowing up my ego way too hard this episode. You guys went from shitting into my mouth, like my esophagus being littered with feces.
You're an injured male. You're injured right now.
Is that why you guys are being nice? Because I'm bruised? I'm broken?
Your ribs are fucked, dude. You already injured yourself enough today. You don't want to shit on you on top of that. But where you're going right now is great.
Thank you. I'm gonna put it in a different direction and just say
fuck it. This is the worst thing that's
fuck it, dog. I think that the introduction of free-to-play games and microtransactions have given games a chance at being seen. Now, have we had a lot of damage done by microtransactions? Absolutely. But I think you definitely have to weigh the good and bad. The amount of games that have, like, think about the games.
Curds and Whey?
What the fuck did you just say?
I think he was speaking Dutch.
I said curds and whey. You said you had to weigh. I said curds and whey.
Curds and whey. Like cheese? Cheese curds?
Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Whatever.
Just hang up on them.
You know what? Fuck you. Next question. God damn it.
Where am I right now?
I can't believe you guys are too young. You're too young. You didn't get the fucking joke.
I'm picturing desks.
I'm off the pot.
I'm
Get him out of here, dude.
Chalkboards.
He's fucking singing morning fucking Daisy songs.
Chalkboards and yardsticks and dunce caps. Where the fuck did we just transport right there? Anyways, I literally had no idea what he was talking about. I'm like, this guy's speaking. He's speaking Latin. He's speaking such a foreign language. It's fucking Latin. Oh my lord! All right, well, on to the next one.
Can I go back to your point real quick, just real fast?
Yeah.
What you were saying, just to summarize what Knackers was about to say. Even though microtransactions have been kind of shitty and they've created like classism in games, like if your default skin, you're a pussy, and if you have like a skull trooper, you're a badass bitch. The thing that has to be considered is how much good it has done. Like the amount of games that have been readily accessible to people that don't want to spend $60 on a title. It's amazing. I love skins. If there's a better way for them to make money, great. As long as it doesn't interfere with the gameplay. Go, Knackers.
Asus is about to start shipping HDMI 2.1 monitors toward the end of the year. Do you think that 4K gaming is going to become the standard in the near future? Do you think this will ostracize players with lower end systems that can't support the kind of graphical output?
I mean, shit. I think there's a lot of people out there that are still running on like 1060s on their GPUs, and it's been what, like 10 years that they've been running the same software or systems. Like I have a 1070s in that PC back there. It's honestly 4K is like the next step up, obviously, and it's been out for what 5-6 years now. So gaming is naturally going to go in that direction as long as the quality and the frame rate is ready for it. Like you see Xbox, PlayStation, 2 or 3 years ago, they're like, oh, we can play in 4K. This is fucking amazing. And then meanwhile, you get like 30 frames per second at best. And then when there's particles and shit flying all over the screen, you're getting 15 frames per second. Fuck them, dude. Okay.
Stop.
When 4K is ready.
Stop.
It's ready. And I'm happy with it. Okay. We have kettle dancing.
I do agree
back.
with you in the sense. I'm going to interrupt you because
Yep.
I have experienced the 4K side with the Xbox One X. It's more than enough. Some games can run fine in 30 FPS, depending what you're playing.
True.
I'll give you a great example. Like if you look at like a lot of the base like PS4 games, not PS4 Pro, a lot of them are 30 FPS games, and they're some of the best games you've ever fucking seen or played in your life. They're optimized for that. But to answer the question, I still think we're probably another generation away from where 4K is going to, like 4K high refresh, that type of gameplay is still, I still think we're 5 or 6 years away before that's just like the norm. Or that's like the 1080 like it is now. You know what I mean? I still think we're at least another 5 years plus away from
I think developers and like hardware manufacturers just have to start phasing out old shit. Like VGA cables are completely phased out by NVIDIA. DVI-D cables are completely phased out because they're fucking irrelevant. They're pointless. So like the thing is that they have to slowly encroach on just pushing those old pieces of hardware out because people aren't going to utilize them. They don't need them anymore. And eventually people will have to upgrade. And I think it's time. I think like the natural, like 720 monitors, I'm sure you couldn't even find them anymore, right? 1080 is like the norm, which 5, maybe 10 years ago, that wasn't the norm. Like you could still buy 720 monitors or 960 monitors. So they just have to continue developing this. And eventually they just have to phase out the shit and just run with what is working. And I think that eventually we're all going to have 8K monitors, 360 VR headsets, and all the 4K cameras shooting at our faces while we stream in 1060p. Like it's going to end up happening. That's a XQC meme. If you guys have ever seen that clip of him freaking out over all the streaming shit.
6 consoles.
6 consoles.
So I find this interesting because there still isn't a good number of HDMI 2.0 monitors that are shipping. Like the amount of GPUs and monitors that both have HDMI 2.0 and that are shipping with true HDMI 2.0 specs, they're not that common. And it's still kind of hard, even if you try to find a 1440p 24-inch G-Sync 144 hertz monitor. There's a couple brands out there that are pushing out, but we still have a way. 4K is not mainstream. In my opinion, it is not mainstream whatsoever. We are still in a 1080p 60 realm. Sure, dude, your cat has his fucking leg in the air and he is licking that butthole.
It's a she.
She, excuse me.
So
still has a butthole.
Belly.
True.
With a little bit of belly rubs.
Actually, girls don't poop, Knackers. I don't know if you knew this. This is
forgot. Sorry.
Licking my hand.
So in my humble opinion, 1440p hasn't even made it to the mainstream yet. There are the majority of games still cannot push 1440p at 60 hertz. The jump from 1080p to 1440p is quite monumental. So do I think that 4K gaming is right around the bend? Absolutely not. It's going to be a enthusiast and prosumer model for, I would say, the next 5 years. the hardware hasn't caught up to it yet. And not only that, I think the rate at which graphics and game performance is excelling, I think our hardware still has a ways to catch up. Can you brought this up a little bit ago, Jimmy, or maybe it was Bishop. I can't tell because you guys are both doing the same. There was a time when developers probably...
It's not as funny as you thought it was, but go ahead.
Listen.
I
love you. There was a time when developers probably wanted to develop game. What the fuck was that?
I love you.
There was a time when developers probably, when they were making the original World of Warcraft Classic, they probably designed that game twice as beautiful. And when it came down to, this is what hardware consumers have, and this is what we have the ability to host on hardware side, they went, oh shit, well, we got to downscale the fuck out of this.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what that's like now. Like when you look at games like Star Citizen, the rate at which they're pushing out this insane performance and quality, and yet when it actually makes its way to the end game, the end user, it needs to be dumbed down. So
no, that's true. It's the bandwidth, right? Like it was the opposite problem back when WoW Classic came out. People didn't have good enough hardware to utilize what the game was capable of accomplishing. Nowadays, the games themselves can't accomplish what like you could buy two 2080 Ti's and you could literally not find a single game that could cap that out, like on the highest of qualities, right?
Right.
So I don't know if this is exactly in line with what you were saying, but games, they're struggling to be good enough. And I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier, which is what you were alluding to, is that game developers previously used to develop games based on the fact that there was new engines and new beautiful statistics, like everything was beautiful and looked realistic, and the hardware was capable of pulling off the vision of what the developer had put out there. Where now it's the opposite. Like I feel like some games just try to put their games in fucking Unreal and 4K just to make them more beautiful, but then fundamentally from like an operational standpoint, the game is dog shit and there's no fun element to the game, but it's absolutely gorgeous, right? So it's kind of like flip-flop in that way. And it just comes down to like shit getting better slowly, right? And like phasing out the garbage, like I mentioned. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I think 1440, like how many of you guys have a phone that's over 1080p, the resolution? None of you guys, right? How many of you guys watch content in 4K? There's probably a few people in chat. Okay, Jimmy, what happened to Blu-ray? Remember Blu-ray? That was like some crazy god tier. So it was too early. Like they were trying to push people into this high quality format. A lot of people did it, but now the people that did it, it's phased out because it was too early and it just didn't really make sense for most consumers. So that's what it comes down to. Knackers, go.
I have to pee, but I just want to say there was a name in chat that kept appearing over and over again, and I'm
Noble
like,
pastime. He's the worst. It's okay.
Vans Rocket League.
No,
or Vans Real Life.
Like,
I'm not sure what the RL stands for.
It's Real Life.
I assume. Or I'm going to say Rocket League then.
Okay.
Vans Rocket League. Okay.
I'm like, where the fuck have I seen this name from? And then I remembered, oh, wait.
The kill feed if it's Noble.
A couple nights ago, I was in this streamer's chat called MiddleAgedStream. And there was a round of marbles where somebody by the name of Console Crab had like a 20-second lead on everybody else. And I'm like, I fucking hate this person. How did they get so far ahead in this marble? And I have despised the presence of that person since that marbles game. And I just want to say, Jimmy, I want you to ban this person from your channel.
No shit?
Yes. They had no right being so good at marbles without spending any money.
True. Talent. It's raw talent.
I want to ban.
Here's the thing. I have actually been asked by another streamer to ban Console Crab for a totally different reason.
Oh.
So now I've like, this is strike 2, Console Crab.
I think you should keep them. And here's why I say that. First of all, consoles are tier 1. They're the best. The second thing is that crabs, super awesome.
Crabs are dope, dude. Crabs
Unless
are dope.
they're in your junk. Then they're not, that type of crab is not so cool.
Knackers, can you send me the next Q&A? Am I able to see that? So when you go poopy right now, I can read it.
Yeah, go poopy. Give us a question. Give us a question that you don't have to answer.
Yeah.
Go poop. Go poop.
Yeah, go poop. Go get your poop done.
Go poop.
Go poop. I just want to say that I actually
go poop.
poop. I want to say that I don't actually have any hateful. I was just very mad that I was in first, and then Council Crab shooted forward and won that match.
Can you say console one more time?
Council. Do you think a game deserves
council, dude?
I did
not a bunch of
I did it on purpose.
People. There's not a group of people
did it on purpose.
meeting together. That is the council.
I did it on purpose.
A console is a self-contained object, not a council. That's why I had to have you say it. I'm glad chat noticed. I'm right. You're wrong. Go poop.
Go get your poop done, dude. No more words out of you.
The question is, joke's on you, I've already pooped.
Oh.
Do you think a game deserves poor reviews due to the underestimated server activity? Example, Fall Guys, several other games that have become overwhelmed during quarantine.
Shit, man.
Have fun pooping.
Yeah, I'll take a stab at this early because Casey knows specifically that over the past 3 or 4 days, I've been trying to play Fall Guys. And for 3 of those days or 2 of those days, I wasn't able to. And I was fuming. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to write a fucking review. I'm going to tell them now how I feel about me not being able to play their game. So my personal opinion, outside of like my emotional opinion, is that first of all, emotional opinion, I'm mad about it. You guys should just fucking know. Figure it out. It's a game. You know how many people are going to play. Figure it out, right? Based on the amount of hype, especially with this game. Just figure it out. I've also seen a bit of to go to my actual response. I've seen this a lot within COVID. A lot more traffic hitting these servers and stuff like that. One of them specifically being World of Warcraft, where you have to spend $15 a month. Every user that's accessing those servers is spending $15 a month, and they can't even handle fucking 60 people in a single instance. Insurgency, which is like a little fucking tiny game producer compared to Blizzard, is able to put 60 people in a server without a single problem. So it's like, have some sort of predictable algorithm that can figure out how many people are on the server and then scale based on that with AWS or some other server hosting thing. So then people can play your fucking game. Otherwise they can't play it. Like, you're selling a copy of a game. If it's free to play, no one gives a shit because they have the headroom that they don't have to pay for the game, and they'll be okay with the fact that they can't access it. But when you're paying money to access a server, you should have some sort of launch plan when you launch the game to have some sort of expectation that people are going to want to play your game. I feel like so many developers fuck this up. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just get like a couple thousand people join on launch day and we'll be totally fine. And then like 50,000 people join and they're like, oh my God, what happened? We could have never expected this. It's like, okay, listen, you guys did a whole phase of testing. You should have figured this shit out. You knew what was happening. Just pay for the server hosting. Don't be fucking pussies. You know how many people have purchased your game. Just pay for the hosting.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
So I really have no opinion on that because I don't play a lot of multiplayer games. So while you were doing your little dialogue and whatever, I honestly wasn't paying attention to any of it. But what I did was I did a little game in my head. I thought I would see how long could I go while I was like nodding and agreeing with you before you even saying a word. I've been doing this for like 2 minutes. You can go back on the VOD and go check, but it was pretty good. Like I've just been literally doing this for about.
What do you call that thing on the piano that goes like this? It's like a little.
I've just been doing this for 2 minutes. I've been literally just shaking my head, giving you the. Yeah, it's been cool. It's been good. All right, next question.
You guys know why pirates wear eye patches?
I think I've heard this one, but I can't remember the answer.
It's so that when you board another ship, you can flip the eye patch onto the other eye, because when you wear an eye patch, one eye is adjusted to sunlight and the other eye is adjusted to darkness. So when you board an enemy ship and you go down into the poop deck and you're looking to stab some motherfuckers, you flip the eye patch.
Sorry, I'm going to give you some nautical knowledge. The poop deck's actually on the top part of the ship.
I was being facetious.
I'm just trying to be educational.
Okay. Physically hurt knackers.
Teacher, okay?
I know. I'm sorry. So you take the eye patch onto the other eye, and the eye that was adjusted to the dark is now able to see when you are below the poop deck. There you go. Are you happy?
How much of a liability do you think it was for the 2 seconds it takes for your eyes to adjust for the pirates? They're like, man,
it's not 2 seconds.
2 seconds is really.
Are you kidding me? I just went I just went to, this is why I thought of this, because I went to the bathroom and I was peeing for at least 40 seconds. And I said to myself, I still don't know where the toilet bowl is.
I'm impressed where you can poop that fast.
I can't poop that fast.
You were, that was a fire and forget, bro.
We actually had this conversation on stream where I have only pooped during a stream once.
What did it taste like?
I've actually been streaming and been in my chat on my phone while pooping.
Oh my God.
On the break screen and having a conversation. Okay.
I've pooped mid casting before because it happened really early in the morning at like 9 a.m. and that's like my poop schedule. And in between races, I went and pooped. And then the other guy had to pick the right, like coming back from commercial, my buddy Lewis had to talk for a while I was still pooping. And then I ran back with like a half wipe.
Was it diarrhea?
No. It was just a poop, you know, like I just have like a ritual. I have like a morning ritual where I poop every morning.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you purposefully poke your finger through the toilet paper so you can give your butthole a little dingling? That's a yes. That's a yes.
That's a yes.
No.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
No. Next question.
Noble pastime. And by the way, the last two questions were from Casey. Next question is from Noble regarding the convo about companies trying to play it safe. With a game like Death Stranding, it is constantly bashed by people, aka Bishop, but they never played it. It's an amazing game, just like Last of Us 2. I feel like people just want to judge now and not give anything a chance. What do y'all think? I have an answer to this. I have an absolute answer to this.
That's just the culture of social media and everyone wants to have an opinion on something, even if they actually haven't taken the time to really learn about it. I'm guilty of it too. I am guilty of it too.
That's what politics is all about.
Yeah. So that's just a cultural thing, that's a social thing, and that affects every aspect of life, not just video games. So
there is, like I said, with our generation of gamers being the hardest to please, there are people that I see, I will even call them friends of mine or people within the community, that complain about never having a new game to play or complaining that the new games that come out just aren't as good. And yet, every time I post a trailer or post a news article to a new game, they respond to the news article within 10 seconds ago, that game looks like shit. I don't think I would like that. It's like, you literally haven't even given it more than 60 seconds of your time to assess whether or not it could be a chance of you enjoying it or not. So that is a huge, huge problem. And there's even times where, we'll talk about games on stream and people in chat will be like, oh, but did you see what this person said? Or did you see what this review had to say about it? It's like, I don't care. I don't care about any of that. I want to enjoy the game the way that I want to enjoy it. And it took me some time to come around to that, right? And with existing in a world where it's gaming and reviews and streaming and constant exposure when games come out, it's really hard to separate yourself from all of the criticism. To actually sit down and not listen to what anybody says about a game and buy it and experience it for yourself. It's really fucking difficult to do that nowadays because whether you like it or not, you're going to have exposure to a game. If you exist in this industry with a social media account and you follow streamers whatsoever, you're going to get exposed to the details of a game before you even have a chance to consider if you would enjoy it or not. So absolutely, it's a huge problem. I just choose not to give a shit what anybody says about video games. I want to enjoy them for myself and experience that for myself.
I think we've been experiencing that with movies for the longest time. When like someone identifies a plot hole to us and then we watch the movie for the first time with that in the back of your mind, you're like, fuck, that's okay. Maybe I can't like this because the plot hole is just so like, it's a clear issue and a clear problem. I mean, we've covered this a lot on this podcast as far as like games that we've heard our friends complain about, so we've had issues with. GTA 4 was one of those. My buddy would not shut the fuck up about how the garage system, you know how like Grand Theft Auto 3, you take a car, you put it in the garage, it saves in the garage, you load the game back up, and if it's in your garage, it's there. In GTA 4, when it first launched for the single player, that wasn't a thing. Like that was all messed up. And I remember trying to play through the game, and I had him in voice chat the whole time, and I just remember being like dreading the feeling of that. Now, going back to the question, I know this is an attack on me, personal attack on me, considering it was asked by Noble Pastime. And I think that to answer your question, playing Death Stranding, okay, the ladder baby simulator, as it may be interesting to some, and I appreciate that people can appreciate parts of that game, I think that there's also an issue at hand when people overhype games and make them so interesting. It's like the counterpoint of this. Like, people can shit on games and make them terrible based on opinion on social media, but they can also overhype them and make them so interesting without having any detail. And I think Death Stranding suffered that pretty heavily because people are like, oh, this is going to be a revolutionary game-changing game. Where it turned out it was like medieval engineers with a baby and a ladder strapped to your back and you just drove around, right? Whether or not the story was good, yeah, I didn't play it. But I think that it just comes down to, like, if you like something, you just like it. Just don't, like, who gives a fuck what anyone thinks? If you enjoy a game, you should enjoy it. Like, I enjoy playing some weird games. Like, I play, like Insurgency. There's a lot of people that be like, oh, why wouldn't you just play Battlefield or Call of Duty? Those games are better. It's like, I just like certain fundamental pieces.
Dude, I'm playing fucking Battletoads, man.
Yeah, dude, this guy's been playing Battletoads for like 6 weeks, bro. This guy can't even beat a fucking Toad game.
Okay, 3 weeks, but okay. Okay.
But yeah, I think you just have
play
to separate.
Battletoads, you fucking bitch. Good
Dude,
luck.
I would get so mad. Mad. But yeah, you just have to separate the noise from, like, what you actually enjoy in games and just go through it. But it's tough. I mean, it's a tough thing to do because you're constantly, like myself, the way my brain works, I'm constantly going to be recalling other people's opinions when I go through the game. But
noise is a perfect way to describe it, by the way.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
next question.
What? Last question.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
From Olivinsky. After watching Devin Nash talk about being a successful streamer on Twitch and staggering growth numbers and visibility on other platforms, why is Twitch even popular?
Oh, can you read that one more time?
After watching Devin Nash talk about being a successful streamer on Twitch and staggering growth numbers of visibility on other platforms, why is Twitch even popular?
I'm not sure I understand that question.
So,
yeah, go ahead, Knackers.
One of the most recent videos that Devin Nash put on his YouTube channel, he went over some stats. For every...
I watched that video, the 1%. Is that the video that we're talking about? Or is it a different video?
I don't know. I could finish my sentence and then you could tell me afterwards.
You go fuck yourself, Knackers. Go ahead. Son of a bitch. No, please. No, it's your podcast. No, you go right ahead.
For every 15 million people watching Twitch, there are 200 million people watching YouTube gaming. So when you were comparing the size of the two platforms, Twitch is very fucking tiny compared to YouTube. Yeah. And in my opinion, it's because Twitch brings what no other platform does. That is culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you're right, but I also think that those metrics are skewed, right? The numbers wise, because YouTube gaming also accounts for VOD content, so evergreen content that's always live. Not just people that are live streaming, but like pre-recorded stuff, like what you would expect from like PewDiePie. That would all be considered YouTube gaming. I don't think that their live streaming metrics are as good for gaming as Twitch alone. And I believe that's because Twitch was the first in the door with Justin TV back in the day. That's just where people have, migrated. And this is where you've wanted to watch that content. YouTube's relatively new, and so is Facebook and Mixer when it comes to like wanting to do live streaming of gaming on the internet, right? Obviously they've all had their options with live streaming in the past, but they haven't really promoted that. And I think that the reason that Twitch is popular is because they're the ones that took the risk initially. Like if you went in a board meeting and talked to the YouTube CEO and all that, and you said, hey, you know what I think what would really work out is if we did some really, like, we got all of our creators and we get them to just live stream all day at them playing video games. They'd look at you and be like, you guys are fucking morons. What are you talking? Are you smoking crack? Where I think nowadays, like Twitch went and they took that risk and they're like, okay, we see something here. We see a possibility and an opportunity. And all the creators that wanted to produce live content in gaming that were on YouTube actually transitioned and pivoted to Twitch. So at the end of their YouTube videos, they said, hey, and come and watch me live on Twitch every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it drove a lot of that traffic to Twitch. Twitch would be nothing without YouTube and Twitter. It wouldn't exist because there would be no migration of the people that follow the other channels or Instagram for that matter. So I think the fact that Twitch was the first to actually take the risk to do live gaming on the internet as a primary source of content, that's why they're popular.
Yeah. No, you said it about as clearly as I possibly could have, man. I have nothing else to add. That's to a T. To a T. Good job. Hey, I give you 3 claps. 1, 2, 3.
Oh God, I can't. Yeah. By the way, you sounded like the fucking owl in those old Tootsie Pop commercials. 1, 2,
How many legs?
By the way, what is the design on your shirt?
It's a gray shirt. There's a flamingo.
Flamingo.
Damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were
was?
fishing lures. Remember when I said they were fishing lures?
Oh, yeah.
A little pink flamingo, man.
They could be. What's on your shirt, Knackers?
Bush. It says Bukkake.
Bush.
Or Bush.
Are you a fan of Bush?
He's a fan of Bukkake.
It doesn't.
That's
I
true.
mean,
All right,
I've never I've never looked at a vagina and going, "Oh, bush." It's just like, "Oh, bush." Right?
A little different. Yeah.
I'm indifferent.
Okay. It's like a 1980s Porsche. You're like, oh,
it's like if you don't know to get aroused or grab like some hedge clippers. You know, you don't know.
It is kind of like when you're looking to lick a lima bean. There is some gratification off of grabbing a bush. Like, oh, Moses was afraid of you. I got your ass.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, right?
You talking shit about Moses?
Yeah, dude.
Listen,
what do you got against Moses, dude?
Don't talk to me about the apostles, all right?
Sweet ass beard. You got beard jealousy. God dang, man. I'm embarrassing. I'm embarrassed.
And
we're
embarrassed.
upset
I know what you're about to do because you got that gleam in your eye. But before we do, I just want to before we finish, I just want to throw this out.
Oof.
Okay. 2020 stash of the year. That's Jimbles, aka MiddleAgedStream. This guy right here.
Hey, listen, that's a good thing to finish on, Jimmy, as I think you've seen in the past.
I do have to say, the way that your logo is incorporated into the mustache, it's pretty dope.
Amazing. It was nicely done.
That's nice, man.
That was nicely done. Yeah. No. Well, thank you.
Jimmy, Jimmy, of all the time that we've known each other and all the great times that we've had, I just want to say, from me to you, heart to art. Heart to art? Heart to heart.
Heart to art.
My name is Jimmy, not Art.
Heart, Jimmy.
Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you so much for ruining that surprise.
Yeah.
You can blame my wife.
You're gonna show it that way.
Yeah, she's not here. Of course I'm gonna throw her under the bus. She's never gonna listen to this podcast, so I can blame her all fucking day. Yeah, I'm blaming my wife.
You do deserve it though. You wear the mustache very well.
I do. Thank you.
That's a nice mustache.
Thank you. It is. I've been inspired by Burt Reynolds, your brother,
Stalin.
and a few other like
Stalin.
70s baseball players, maybe a few dictators over time, but
Pog.
Big creamy pogs, brothers. Well, on that note, not only is that the end of the Q&A, that is also the end of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. Thank you all so very much for coming through and hanging out with all of us. We had a blast. So what we're going to do one time before we end the show is we're going to go around the room, this round table of knights, and we're going to have everybody express where you can find them online, what they might have going on in their respected channels. And suck my dick, but tell us where you're at.
I will speak for Suck My Dick. My name is BishopGP. You can find me on Twitter at Bishop Was Here, on Twitch at BishopGP. I play racing games. I've been playing a little bit more often. I built my sim. That's what's behind me to my left side. I don't know what it looks like for you guys. The right side of me on stream. Otherwise, you can find me in some chats sometimes.
So much your OnlyFans. Your OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah. It's Lychee Boy 69.
No.
Wait.
Thick
Lychee Boy 69 on OnlyFans. So if you want to subscribe, it's only $2,000 every month, but I really think that it'll help with my creativity, and you guys can really help me push to the next level of what I want to achieve in my independence. So thank you, OnlyFans. Appreciate it.
My name is Jimmy or Jimbles, Lord Jim Jam.
The Mustachio.
Mustachio, you can also call me. And you can find me on Twitch and Instagram at MiddleAgedStream, MiddleAgedStream on Twitter, because fuck character limits. Bring that back to the podcast. It's been a few episodes. I go back to work in a week, but this week I'll be live at least 4 times. I'm trying to put the kibosh on Battletoads before the new Battletoads comes out, and I'm super stoked. I'm literally, I feel kind of like this isn't like a super brag moment, but I'm about to beat Battletoads, dude. It's like I'm this close. I'm gonna beat this motherfucker, dude. I'm telling you. I will clip it. I'm gonna send it to you and be like, "Go beat Battletoads, you little bitch." and it is a lesson in patience and insanity.
If you beat it, I'll play it. How about that?
It has been one of the craziest things I've ever done in gaming, but it's also been very enjoyable. So, in a weird sort of way, but it has been fun.
When are you going to play Getting Over It?
Oof.
I think you and I would like to schedule some type of event where we can do like a side-by-side, you and me playing Getting Over It. And then you just shit on me while I just rage and call you names.
Or I can play Battletoads while you play Getting Over It.
That would be good.
There you go.
What about Jump King? Have you guys played Jump King before?
Not yet. I want to, though.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, let's all play that. That'd be sick. I'm just going to butt into the situation.
Oh, dude, that would be...
Because no one has experience here, right?
Mm-mm.
Correct.
Yeah, that would be a nice little 3-way. The little Jump Kings.
Excuse me?
I love 3-ways.
Little 3 skis.
We're going to do a 3-way podcast?
Hell yeah. Little Jump King. First man to the top gets a smooch from both the others. Just a nice little mustache smooch.
Anyways, my name is Knackers. You guys can find me on this very channel at Knackers with 3 A's. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Knackers with 3 A's. Or you can find me at onlyfeet.com/thicknut, where I upload only the finest of pictures. And I can guarantee you guys will have a great time. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us during this episode of Crocs and Hot Pockets. We will be back in 2 weeks for episode 126 with both these two fine gentlemen, MiddleAgedStream, BishopGP. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was...
Say something, you dumbass. This
has been wonderful.
He addressed us, now you respond.
Fuck
God,
you.
Bishop, you've been on this fucking
Knackers.
show for
This
30
podcast
episodes,
is
bro.
over with. 125 episodes.
Christ.
Come on.
Wait, is this 125?
Can you cut this out of the mix?
Yeah.
No, it's going up.
Nah,
No, this is already online. We're already live.
Okay.
Well, fuck it. We'll do it live.
Do it live.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Look at you. Look like a New Jersey DJ that plays on like a Tuesday afternoon in a mimosa.
He's gonna go outside and like smoke like half a fucking Newport.
Well,
And he's
yeah,
gonna
we get a
inject
little
some-
bit.
yeah.
He's gonna inject some Red Bull into his veins, and he's gonna go back and spin some records.
You post on Twitter about how much you love drinking the regular version of Rockstar.
That it's Ciroc in one hand and Rockstar sugar free in the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Tastes
right.
like lipstick.
This hurt my eyes. But anyways, I love you both. Thank you for being on the show, and I'll catch you guys later.
All right,
right.
bro.
Papa bless.
Goodbye.
Papa bless.
Bye. Can we get a boner champ real quick?
Boner champ.
Blumpkins.
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 Okay. All right. You guys are gone. You guys are fucking gone. Okay. Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. If you would like to catch the show live, it airs on Twitch on my channel at twitch.tv/knackers at 9 p.m. every single Sunday. If you would like to check out the most recent episode of the podcast, you can probably click this little box here. And if you feel like checking out some of our highlights, you can maybe click this little box down here. And maybe I'll even put a little thing for you to click right here. No? Bye.